So last week was our first episode of the TechBuzzed podcast, and I happened to be listening to it the other day, just checking things out, and my mom overheard me listening to it, which means we have one listener,
Yay.
which is great. That increased us from 0 to 1, which I guess is 100%, but
that's cool.
We are making progress, man.
Progress indeed.
At this rate, if we add one user a week,
we are going to increase in size
We'll be at
faster
2
than the Windows Phone marketplace.
Ooh, that was a deep burn.
Sick burn.
You need some ointment there, Bill. Actually, excuse me, Steve.
I'm sorry that I'm hurt.
But our listener base is growing.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
If you're listening to us right now, we appreciate you.
We
And
appreciate you deeply.
So deeply.
Yes.
How deep is our love? Very deep.
Very, very deep.
We have a studio audience today.
Yeah, we have. Well, can you call one person an audience?
Hey, you know what? Shut up.
Is one person an audience?
It's an audience.
It's an audience.
Kent, you're two people in my eyes.
I love you guys. Apparently, when I was watching the Apple keynote, Tim Cook was like, "Oh, the companies are deploying iPads so fast. So if they can say iPad is plural, then we can say one person is a plural audience."
You know, that really upset me actually.
Guys,
look at all these iPad.
look at. I have 100 iPad.
All of the iPad are happy and frolicking in a field.
all the iPad.
They're on a farm.
I saw a herd of iPad the other day.
All the iPad are on a farm uptown because no one wants them. Keep peeing on my carpet. Hey, and welcome to the TechBuzzed podcast, your raw and slightly inebriated look into the world of technology. I'm Nick Smock.
I'm Ryan Spletzer.
And I'm Lucas Ritter.
And today we were talking about mostly events that happened in the previous week and an event that was supposed to happen, but we'll get into that a little later. But we'll start things out today with probably the biggest event of the week, upsettingly in my eyes, is the Apple event. They announced a few things, and I think, Ryan, you'd like to start things out with one of the first things they announced.
Yeah, so one of the first things that they talked about at the event was a new MacBook Pro, 13-inch Retina display MacBook Pro, and it looks really nice. And
how much does it cost?
I think the starting price
$16,000.
$16.99.
$16,000.
Well, like 17, but
okay.
But yeah, no,
that's not
you know
that what?
bad.
Good on you, Apple, because that's a moderately reasonable price for.
Are you kidding me?
Just kidding.
Well, the way I look at it is, it's like, in terms of like the big deal here is the display. And
Yeah, I mean the display is nuts.
and
That pixel density.
Tai Chi.
We'll get into that.
when people from the news were talking about it, the tech journalists, they were basically saying how imagine the screen you had on, your MacBook Pro, which is like the high-res one on that. Currently, like the normal MacBook Pro, not the new high-res MacBook Pro, is like 1680 by 1050. But now 1680 by 1050 is the resolution of the 13-inch.
Yeah.
Which is kind of appealing to me because it's like, hey, I'm getting the same resolution device, but in 13 inches. And that's kind of awesome.
And it's a more full-featured device.
I
Oh,
do
it is,
understand
yeah.
it. Like it's a nice product, but I still have my Apple problems.
Well, we all do.
Like
Some people are more
device.
Some people are more willing to admit it, though.
I will totally agree with you. It's going to be an awesome device, but I don't want to pay $1,700 for it. That's my only issue. Whatever.
Also, there's an iMac update coming out. Ryan, why don't you delve into that as well?
They also introduced a new iMac, which is kind of a surprise. I didn't think this would be coming at this event.
Yeah, same here. That was definitely something that snuck under the radar.
Yeah.
Yeah, desktop without an optical drive. Just what I wanted.
Tim Cook would say you're living in the past.
Yes, I'm living in the past.
You can buy an external optical drive.
Oh,
from
just
Apple.
what I want to do. Yeah,
It's got Thunderbolt.
Exactly what I want to do. Hook into another. No. No. I'm gonna watch this baseball game.
Can I just talk for a minute about how easy it would be to get by without?
Yes,
It really is.
I agree with you. Like, I understand
Progression.
how easy it is, but it's a desktop. Why do we care? Why do we need to cut all these things out?
Because we don't need them anymore.
Oh,
We really
so
don't.
I have this like desk in my office here, and I need to have this iMac that is like really thin because you know what? I really care that it's a millimeter thin.
You know, we don't really need it, but shave the price a bit.
Oh, I didn't even look at.
I mean, it's obvious. It's made by Apple. You don't need to see the price to know it's expensive.
I kind of want to know.
Please
I'm
look
going
this up.
right
I
now.
want to hear this.
Well, while he's looking that up, we're gonna hop on to because I know I'm gonna spend a lot of time on the next section of this Apple
Oh, it's
event.
not bad. You can get a 21-inch for, well, this the smaller one for
Right.
$12.99, and then it's
Eh.
actually only $100. The 27-inch entry level is only $100 more than the 13-inch
But
MacBook Pro.
but their entry level stuff is iggy.
No, I know you would have to spec it out, and it always winds up being way more.
Yeah.
but-
And I mean that's like seriously like where Apple gets you because their components, their upgrade components are insanely priced to where if you just had the tools to open up their cases and do it yourself, it would cost you nothing.
But then you'd have to have all these special 3-head and 5-head
Right. Which again,
screwdrivers.
thank you Apple for doing that. we really appreciate it. We really appreciate
let's
you
laminate
making
the motherboard right to the screen,
Right.
so
Yeah.
you can't.
I remember when I had to crack open my MacBook Pro.
I bet that was just hell.
Everyone just
Well,
hear me sighing on the mic right now.
Oh yeah, the Tigers are on and they're losing.
Yeah, no,
We need to
yeah,
stop
I
diverting
really-
our attention over there.
Yeah, it's okay though. But yeah, no, I mean I cracked it open and then immediately I'm like, oh, in order to take the battery out, I need a special 5-head,
Right.
screwdriver thing. So I had to
See-
put it back together, order one, wait.
Now, I cracked my Toshiba laptop open a couple weeks ago, and it literally took me a minute. It was a Phillips head drive.
But
small
let me say
Phillips
this right
head
now:
drive.
your Toshiba laptop is butt ass ugly.
You know what? And I will agree with that, but it has really good components, and it was really reasonably priced. I bought it for $700. It's got a quad core processor. It's got 8 gigs of RAM. It has an onboard video chip. I could ask for no more from a $700 computer. I don't care what it looks like. Well, okay, strike that. If it looked like something offensive, I'd probably go against it. But in terms of just like ugly laptops, I really don't care. For $700 and those specs, I'll take it any day.
For me, it's not so much about how ugly. Well, it is kind of about how it looks, but more so, it's like I pour more money into a laptop because I actually have to touch the thing.
Well, yeah. But see,
Like-
the trackpad on this is one of the better trackpads I've ever had.
Okay.
And it doesn't look like it, but I love
it
it.
looks garbage.
No,
but
because
okay.
see, it kind of has an abrasive feel to it.
Yeah.
But like I've owned basically just Dells my whole life, and the trackpads on those have that it's a real like smooth kind of sheen surface.
Yeah.
And they wear out. And like because like in the middle of the trackpad they wear out, but this is abrasive and it really it's got a decent amount of resistance, but
Right.
it's still responsive, and so it doesn't wear out as much because I use it. Well, I don't use it that much because when I'm editing and stuff,
Yeah,
like
you've got a
I've got
mouse
my
and
mouse.
something.
You guys
but-
realize we're in the post PC world, so all these things are dead. They're old fashioned,
but they're not.
No,
No,
laptops
no.
are dead.
Some people still need trucks.
Oh my god,
Lucas. Let's jump on.
But no, wait, real
oh,
quick.
we got something.
While we're on this tangent, I want to keep going on this
Okay,
tangent for a
all right,
second.
All right.
Just to say one more thing, like in terms of a desktop PC, I could care less what it looks like, what the tower and everything. Who cares? Because at the end of the day,
Oh,
what
I
I'm
do.
touching there. No, see, that's like the
I
radically
love
different point
having
here.
my gigantic ATX tower that I
Exactly,
can fit 15
exactly.
hard drives
So
into.
you care about what your tower looks like, the thing that you never like really touch except for the power button.
But
I really don't care.
But when it comes
actually.
to your
do-
laptop, you don't care if it's a plastic POS.
no, I
I
do
do.
hate that.
I do because I built my desktop.
Okay.
It's mine.
That makes sense.
I
I
have
bought
a
this
problem.
laptop. I bought this laptop, and this is just it's something I bought, and the case just had to come with it. The desktop, on the other hand, I built it. I got to choose what case came with it.
I will be
Yeah.
honest, Ryan. Like, I'm gonna agree with you. Like, I have a gigantic problem with the state of PCs and laptops.
Your
like,
case is gorgeous, though.
no, I'm saying like with laptops right now. What the hell is going on? I'm talking to you, HP and
Yes.
Dell.
No, HP.
What the
No.
hell are you
No,
guys
no,
doing?
no.
Nobody,
Hold on.
yeah.
Because the HP Envy series, they're gorgeous. And you know why they're gorgeous? Because they're like MacBook Pro cases.
Yeah.
And MacBook Pros are the most gorgeous laptop ever created. They are it is just a sheer feat of design.
But this is also why I will not support it. I will go and buy a Lenovo. They're the only company that's actually having somewhat legitimate, like, different designs.
I like Asus's laptop designs.
Yeah,
I'm a fan
I
of
can.
Lenovo.
I actually really like the Dell XPS series. I think those are really unique, gorgeous laptops.
For me, at the end of the day, what it really comes down to with the laptop is, I mean,
Specs.
well,
Because
I know
who
obviously
cares, again,
no,
what it looks like.
but specs aside, I have to
Keyboard.
touch it. I have to use
Yeah.
it. So keyboard and trackpad, if they don't work well, the rest it could be a
Need an
beast
RB.
machine.
Right.
It could be a beast machine, but it doesn't matter if I can't use it well. If I can't.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I guess that's
And
my point.
again, the MacBook Pro exceeds with its trackpad and
the keyboard.
Its interface, its input interface is just it's gorgeous.
Yeah. I have to say, after I got a MacBook Pro, I could never go back to using a normal keyboard anymore. I'm all like chiclet from here on out.
Chiclet.
Yeah.
Chiclet is really nice. Though. I have this thing where I buy all these devices and I never buy backlit, and it's like, what is wrong with me? Like, that's what I need is backlit.
Yeah. No,
I've
you do at night. Yeah.
I have a Thermaltake keyboard, and I've seen a couple people who have jerry rigged. I don't want to say jerry rigged, but hacked backlighting into their keyboards.
Oh, okay.
And I've been thinking about doing that because I
Wait,
have
wait,
some
wait,
extra
wait, wait.
space.
People, what?
Yeah, they use small size LEDs and they wire them into the keyboard because there's enough power that the cable can handle that extra like micro amounts of power for a couple LEDs to throw in the corners and maybe in the middle, and there's room in the keyboard case to do it.
Why not just buy a lit keyboard?
I want one. All right,
Like, this is the spec that I looked for in my keyboard. I bought a cheap keyboard. I bought a $30 keyboard. And granted, it is no gaming keyboard, but it works.
see, I bought mine with for the macro keys and that.
Okay, I got you.
All right.
We're gonna move on again.
No, jump back on the train. Well, yeah.
Coming back to the
Yeah,
coming back to
train.
the Apple event. The main feature of this week's event, it was on the 23rd, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
October 23rd. The main feature of Apple's October 23rd event was the iPad Mini, which I have a whole lot to say, so I'm gonna jump.
But wait. Before we get to that, I want to finish up a couple things.
We're back. We're back to the iMac.
Just
the
real
iMac.
quick.
Go ahead.
Actually, back to the MacBook Pro 13-inch Retina. Just one more thing I want to say about it. I was really impressed when Nilay Patel showed a demo where he was playing back a 1080p video and firing up a bunch of apps, and what was one more thing he's doing? Like moving around a huge raw photo in Aperture, and it was only using half the CPU because it's integrated graphics.
That's pretty impressive.
That's pretty good. I mean,
I actually wouldn't mind
it's
that
cool.
for
It's
editing
actually
purposes.
utilizing what Intel is providing. This makes me so sad because,
finally.
Hey, at least they're getting it right at some point.
Yeah.
No, it's not even on Intel. It is on the PC makers. Like, their chips have this. They have so much power. It is insane.
I was more talking about Apple finally utilizing that.
I feel like Apple's been utilizing their, like, with video editing, and this is why they've gained this market share in this space, is because of what they've done where they actually use the power of their chips.
Well, they went after the progressive markets, the markets that are growing.
Yeah, exactly.
Your basically your media market that's just like just gaining ground like nobody's business.
And it ticks me off because Windows laptops can do this, but they're just not built for it. Where Apple took advantage of this. Like, they're using these Retina laptops. They've got awesome screens. They've got amazing amounts of power with these Intel chipsets. Like, Intel integrated graphics are good. Like, it's granted, it's you're not gonna be playing Skyrim at full resolution, but they're good. They'll play your average game.
Yeah.
And it's just no one's utilizing it because no one will optimize their software to
be
it.
honest, I think it's because nobody like Apple puts the kind of money and time and care into
Exactly.
designing
You are
that
dead right.
that good laptop. You
You
know,
are-
and I want
yeah.
the sad thing is I will pay that money to get that good design from other companies. You know,
Yep.
like I would gladly shell that out.
Yeah.
Because like to be honest, I'm not using this MacBook Pro in front of me because of OS 10. I'm using it because it's a good quality piece of hardware, and it works well for me. Yep. Like I have Windows 7 dual booted on it, and I use that often. But I mean, I don't go in there like all the time just because like OS 10 is good enough. But to be honest, I really want, just a really solid laptop from somebody.
Yeah.
Solidly designed where it's like, oh, MacBook, like I can actually hold it up at the same level as a MacBook Pro. Because I can't do that right now.
Yeah, you really can. It's true. You're and me being a complete Windows fanboy, I will be honest. Yeah, you're right. There is nothing in the market at this moment that can compete with a MacBook.
Yeah. Okay, back to the iMac real quick. I think my only point about it was surprising and it looks really nice.
It was.
And it's got a nice screen.
It is. It's a gorgeous computer.
I noticed it's substantially thinner, and I actually am kind of against that because I use for school they're 32-inch, but I use iMacs for like all of my classes, and I like, this is gonna sound weird, I like the meatiness of the last gen iMacs.
Why?
I just, because you're sitting there and like a lot of the times I have to reposition it or something and make sure that I'm getting that like true color of what I'm on there, and so I'm repositioning it, and it like I don't want to grab something that's as thin as a laptop screen or a little bit thicker than that.
It's only that thin on the edges though.
But so it bows a bit. But that's the thing though. It's like when I grab it, I like having that like meat
that
in my
thick.
hands. Yeah.
I know you like the meat in your hands. I know.
You know what? I tried to make it not weird.
you
guys
really
just
like
you
big
guys
meat
just
in your hand.
you guys just took that train and just ran it right into a brick wall. I tried. I prefaced by saying this is gonna sound weird, and you guys just made it weird.
No, I didn't say anything. What's weird about having meat in your hands?
All right,
I don't get it.
Big,
Wait, I don't get what you're trying to say, Nick.
We're continuing on.
But okay, but yeah, I agree. You don't want to grab 5 millimeters of stuff.
No one wants to grab 5
I
millimeters.
don't like it.
I had to.
Oh god. I don't like it simply for the fact that I would rather have more components stuffed into that space than have a really skinny desktop.
Yeah.
Okay.
But anyways, yeah.
So
moving on.
The main reason for the Apple event on October 23rd was the iPad Mini. I'm gonna leave this to someone to start talking about because I have a lot to say about this, and I have a lot of mean things to say about this. So whoever wants to take over, be my
Ryan,
guest.
please take over because I'm probably gonna be with Nick.
Apple released a 7.9-inch tablet called the iPad Mini. And it has a 1024 by 768 resolution, same as the iPad 2. And it actually, when you do the pixel per inch calculation, it's much lower pixel density than the 3. Like, that's really disappointing to me.
It's lower than the Nexus 7.
Yeah.
Actually, the Nexus 7 has really good.
Nexus 7 has pretty good pixel
The Nexus
density.
7, the Kindle Fire, the Nook 2. Is it 2 or HD
Nook
or
HD.
whatever? Yeah. Anyway.
To be clear, well, like the best pixel density device on the market right now of any kind.
Isn't it the Nook?
No,
it's the
I think
iPad.
it's the iPad 3.
It's the new
Oh,
iPad.
yeah.
Even
you're right.
the new iPad, but even the new 15-inch MacBook Pro with
Yeah.
Retina.
Yep.
I don't even think that matches the iPad 3. That's
no,
how
the iPad 3 is way ahead right
The
now.
That's how
iPad's
high it
pixel
is.
density is.
Or wait. I take that back. I think I might have been wrong. I think it's the iPhone 5.
Oh, actually, that's probably true.
The iPhone 5
Or
has,
is it the HTC
yeah. Now let me back up for a second.
That hasn't come out yet.
Not that really matters, because at a certain point it doesn't matter how many more pixels you shove in, because our eyes can't see it at a certain point.
Right.
I have my iPad, and to me, when I hold it up to my within inches of my face, it's basically as close as I can get and
Yep.
still focus on it with my eyes. I cannot see any pixels in it. So at a certain point, it doesn't matter how many more pixels. You throw at it.
So the new iPad pixels per inch is 264, and the iPhone 5 is 326.
Yep.
Actually,
That's what I thought.
the iPhone 4 is also 326.
Right.
Well, they didn't.
They kept the
But-
same.
But the iPhone 4 was also a smaller resolution.
You know what I want is
Right.
that 4K screen, that 9.6-inch 4K screen. Did you guys see that?
What?
Yeah.
From who?
So
Just some random Japanese company.
Not-
It was awesome.
not only
It was
did
like 400 and some odd PPI.
not only was the iPad mini released, but there was another iPad released.
Oh, yeah.
And this is where I am going to just go off.
But
because,
wait, let's not jump off the iPad yet.
Okay.
Or iPad mini, sorry.
Okay, we're still talking about the iPad.
Yeah. Let's do
I
it.
just want to give my first quick impressions of what I saw when I thought this. First of all, I knew it was coming.
Everyone knew it was coming.
Yeah. Second of all, when I saw it, immediately I was like, oh, God, those side bezels, those are the worst. Like,
Yeah.
because,
You need a bezel.
if you're holding something like that, like,
Uh,
the Nexus 7 has a larger bezel than
Yeah,
that.
it does.
And the issue is like Apple fanatics along with employees are arguing the fact that it has a smaller bezel. Why you don't want that small of a bezel?
No, you don't.
No.
You need to hold it on that side. And I feel like if I was doing that, like my thumb would go over and I would hit the side all the
We
time.
lost, didn't we?
The Tigers just lost. That's sad.
That's unfortunate.
But yet, no, and not only that, just from an aesthetic point of view, I don't think that looks good.
I don't think it fits what Apple's been doing lately.
Right. It looks awkward. Like let me put it this way. If that were a 16:9 device, thin bezels on the side might work a little better. But because it's like this, like 4x3 form factor still, it doesn't look right with thin bezels on the sides. So that's that. And they're trying to position. I get it. They're trying to position this thing as like the reading device.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you got your Kindle over there, and you got your Nook over there, and your Nexus 7, but this is really the one you want, because iBooks
Is not good.
no,
Because it
but
doesn't even have publishers on it.
no iBooks. I would never buy a book from iBooks.
It doesn't have
'Cause
publishers on it.
let me-
They buy out the publishers and they have like a fraction of what Amazon has.
Let me explain this to you, Apple. Why would I ever buy a book from you that I can't use elsewhere, or I can't read elsewhere?
But that's the thing, is most of the people who use iPads for reading, you know what they use? The Kindle app.
Right. That's what I use.
But the problem is Apple, in their terms of agreement, their app terms of agreement, disallows the use of in-app payments, especially for Amazon.
Yeah.
They will not allow Amazon to sell their books through their Kindle store. So it's
That's BS.
so you have to go to your computer or you have to go to your phone, as long as you're not using an iPhone, to buy your Kindle book, and then you can read it on your iPad.
You know what's dumb and biased about that is that there's an app called Paper for the iPad, and you can buy brushes in it.
which is an amazing app. by
Which
the way.
it's a great
It's
app.
an amazing app.
But you can buy extra brushes in it for $2 each. Like, why can they do it? And
well, this is the reason.
And not other people.
Technically, Amazon could have in-app purchases, but they have to cut Apple 30% of every sale.
So is Paper cutting them
Correct.
30% of the brushes they
Correct.
sell?
But Amazon would never do that. They don't have to, because they get those sales. Paper
Right.
relies
Because
solely on.
Amazon lost money last quarter on like how many billion in sales?
But Paper relies solely on Apple for their money,
Yeah.
and Amazon doesn't.
Well,
That's true.
People are still
this
buying.
leads me to my big point on why I have an issue with this is you can buy a Nexus 7 or a Kindle Fire or a
All right,
Barnes & Noble
we're jumping
Nook
into this.
HD for almost half the price.
I'm calling you
please.
out, Tim Cook.
Please don't buy a Kindle Fire though.
Don't buy a Kindle Fire or a Nook HD actually, unless you're gonna root it and put stock Android on it.
No, I am still going to recommend it because my grandma has a Nook and she loves the living crap out of the thing.
Get a Nexus 7. Everybody, if you want to buy a tablet, if you want to buy a tablet that is not the size, is not a 10-inch tablet like an iPad is or whatever. If you want just a 7-inch tablet for your e-reader and just every day-to-day type things, get a Nexus 7.
I'm sorry, but the build quality is better on the Kindle.
Wait,
but
which
you're-
Kindle?
The HD, the new one.
And you have to use a lockdown operating system.
You
that
do,
requires
but
Amazon.
depending on who you are, unless you're like one of us, unless you are one of the people that actually know what they're looking for in a mobile OS system, the Kindle will work for you very well.
Oh, sure it will. But I think that if you want a full-featured tablet that is not $100 million, give or take $999 million, you should get an Nexus 7. It's the same price. You can get your Amazon app. You can get your Kindle app. They're all free. You have a Kindle Fire. It's the same price. It's got more storage, and you're running stock Android.
I totally understand that. Like I agree with you. Like if I was searching for a tablet right now, I would be buying a Nexus 7. Like I would totally agree with you. But my big issue with the Nexus 7 is that Google Play is just not up to par.
But it just Google Play itself, like the Play Store, just start.
That's my problem.
But what does Amazon have to compete with Google Play besides Kindle?
Amazon.
In what sense? You can't. Besides magazines, you got to get. Well, I mean, you could purchase the movies on Amazon, but the storage isn't there, cloud storage. But you have to have what do you call
Go
it? Prime
to a
account.
website and find one that isn't hosted by Amazon.
Amazon
owns the web.
I'm not arguing that. That has nothing to do with buying a tablet.
It doesn't. But the thing is, Amazon owns the web. Like
That has nothing to do with buying a tablet, though.
and
That's
not to
what we're talking
mention,
about.
if you're going there to buy something, they have everything.
But you can get the Amazon app for free on your stock Google
That's true.
Android tablet. Your
And it
stock
does,
Google Nexus
not only
7.
that, it does more than that.
It does, but you have to go and get
and
it.
you don't have BS. Oh
Let
no!
me put.
I gotta go to my Google Play Store and type in Amazon.
Let me put it this way: how much does a Kindle Fire HD cost?
The same price as the Nexus 7.
It's
But the
yeah.
Nexus 7, not only does it do the same things as the Kindle Fire in terms of reading and all that,
but more.
but it does a lot more.
And prices are dropping in the Nexus 7 within the coming weeks.
My problem with this is I'm not looking at it as a person that's listening to this podcast. I'm looking at this as a person that is like
Even then, though,
my grandmother.
Even then, though, if they want a solid e-reader, then get a Nook. Don't buy a Kindle. I really
No, yeah.
I can't justify a reason for someone buying a Kindle unless they shop solely on
Kindle
Amazon.
Paperwhite. Go get a Kindle
Or a
Paperwhite.
Paperwhite. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If you just want to read, get that.
I can't justify buying a Kindle Fire unless you shop solely on Amazon. Because you can get a Nexus 7 for the same price, and it's a better tablet.
I don't know. I think they're equal quality of tablet, but Nexus 7 has a better OS.
The software's
software
a thousand times
a lot better. But the thing is,
that's half the experience.
It is. You're right. I agree with you. But the thing is, you hop on a Kindle. You hop on a Kindle HD, and you like, oh hey, you know what? I kind of want a new pillow. Okay. Oh hey, right here's this Nexus. Here's this Kindle thing. Oh, it's Amazon. Okay. Click. Bought it. Done. Where with the Nexus, you have to get the app. You have to like let's say
To shop on
you
Amazon.
All right,
get
here
the
we
app,
go.
you have to hop on Amazon.
I'm gonna find a pillow on Amazon. Button Amazon app search pillow. PILLOW.
You're doing all this where with a Kindle Fire, you would have just been like, oh hey, look, pillow done.
with wonderful ads just following you the whole way.
There's ads following you right there. What you're doing right now.
No,
So-
there's not.
Here's,
How did we get here from an iPad?
Okay,
I don't know.
We're going back because
I want to know.
I want to rant.
I want to say one more thing.
All right.
Amazon doesn't care where you buy stuff from.
I found
They
pillows.
really don't. You're right.
I found pillows, by
they
the
could
way.
care less.
They could.
You guys
The only
wanna-
reason they're putting that out there is so you can buy more stuff.
This one has Prime actually. Dream Supreme Plus Gel Pillow has Prime enabled, so you can get free next day shipping.
Like Amazon
If you pay
literally
$60 a
literally
year.
could care less if you bought that on your phone right now or if you bought it on a Kindle Fire HD.
Exactly.
You
That's
just
the
bought a
beautiful
pillow
thing about Amazon.
and they're happy to give you that
Amazon
pillow.
got money for that because the reason that is because Amazon makes no money off of Kindle sales.
Exactly.
They don't. They lose money.
No, they break even.
Whatever.
Okay.
All right.
My
Here we
turn to
go.
rant
Here we
about
go.
the iPad Mini and then the new iPad.
I
I
gotta
guess
get
is
a
that what
beer.
we're calling it?
The-
Is that what we coined it?
Did they even say a name during the keynote?
We're gonna go with the new iPad.
the new iPad.
Because I'll get into that. So iPad Mini, most ridiculous device ever created. Because number one, it's $329,
yes.
which is insane. Number two, Tim Cook marketed this thing during the keynote so poorly it wasn't even funny. And this brings me to my point where we have left what I like to call Jobsian Apple. And it was very present in this keynote. Steve Jobs, and he's even flat out he had flat out said it, is they would never compare their product to a competitor in a keynote. Never.
Well, they did that.
But they did during the iPad Mini event.
Hardcore. Phil Schiller.
Phil Schiller went nuts over the Google tablet, which
Oh yeah.
over the
Yeah,
Google
baby.
tablet, which happened to be a Nexus 7, like clearly a Nexus 7. And they touched on the most ridiculous points. There's less bezel. Who cares? Hey, look at this. It's an iPad. Who cares? If you want a better tablet, get it. Oh wait, it's more expensive. Like it was so ridiculous,
Well,
like what he had to
in the
say. But he didn't bring up the point that it's a dual core A6, right? In the iPad, it's a quad core in the Asus Galaxy or the Asus Nexus 7.
Yeah.
The
But
resolution,
specs don't matter in iOS.
No, I'm gonna let you finish, but
I'm gonna let you finish.
Thanks.
Paul.
but I just want to say, cores don't really matter if your software is optimized to use what it has.
which is understandable.
Yeah.
But number two, Apple prides themselves on their screen tech. Where was that in the iPad Mini?
yeah.
The resolution
Oh.
the resolution is
Oh, man.
terrible in the iPad Mini.
No, that's the thing that would make me never buy one, because I know I'm not going to get that same screen experience that I have on my iPad
Right.
third generation.
Right. And it's like you're going to sit there and tout how good your screens are, and then you release this brand new device and it doesn't even comply with what you've released before. Like, come on.
Yeah.
And then I got in an argument with someone the other day in a comment thread on The Verge, actually. And he was just like, his only argument he had was that the iPad had more apps. And we were talking about this yesterday or 2 days ago.
Yeah.
And it's like,
exactly.
okay, number one, the iPad has, or the Apple App Store has like 25,000 more apps. And like Ryan brought up a good point, no one cares about 25,000 fart apps. And
No,
then,
like,
another
quality
comparison they
versus
had.
quantity.
Another
That's all I'm
comparison
saying.
they had where they were like basically like bashing Google on this is they were like, oh, well, look at this. We're going to open up the Yelp and the TripAdvisor app. And
Yeah.
we have tablet optimized apps for the iPad, but not for this Google tablet.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, good on you, Apple, but Google doesn't make those apps. It's not up to Google
Right, it's not their
whether they make tablet optimized
fault.
apps.
Yeah.
Okay.
And how many other apps are there that aren't tablet optimized for the iPad? That are just oversized phone apps.
There's a
happens
lot.
it happens on both devices.
They
Like,
just
what's-
happen to pick a few
Yeah,
that were
like they just picked the two
stark
you know.
contrast.
Yeah, so it's like where's all that?
They pick the two, but the thing is Android tablets do not have the app support that the iPad does.
But that's not Google's fault, and they were pinning it on
It's
Google.
not Google. No, I agree with you. It's not Google's fault, and you know what? It's just they're not being developed. But it's because Android tablets don't sell.
I have a feeling that we are past that point now. The Nexus 7 is an amazing device, and it is sold a ton, and it's going to sell even more when the price drops.
And its storage goes up too.
So.
Exactly. I completely disagree with you, but
I think the mini pad's gonna sell more than the Nexus 7 will.
Now, I mean, this is something coming up later, but I'm just gonna say it. We won't dive into it, but Samsung 10-inch tablet. I mean,
we'll get into that a little bit later.
The Samsung name alone might carry that and make it more legitimate.
Another thing that Tim Cook actually said after the press release, he said, "We don't make." Let me actually find the article on Gizmodo. He basically just bashed 7-inch tablets. Does he realize that the iPad Mini is 7.9 inches? It's a whole inch bigger.
Yeah.
Like it's not not like it's not like he just released another 10-inch tablet, which he did, but it's an inch bigger. It's not that big of a deal. But his quote was hilarious. And I'm gonna see if I can find it here. Here we go. "We would never make a 7-inch tablet" is a quote from it. So he said, exactly, quote, "Let me be clear. We would not make one of those 7-inch tablets. We don't think they're good products, and we would never make one. No, not just because they're 7 inches, but for many reasons. One of the reasons, however, is size." Like, what does that even mean?
Well,
you're making a device that's
Apple,
0.9 inches bigger, and you're gonna say we're not gonna make a tablet that's 7.
Apple has this whole philosophy, as far as I can tell, about in terms of like screen real estate you have.
Go ahead, continue.
Well, and they have I think that's why they haven't done a 16:9 tablet. I mean, they've done a 16:9 phone because they've realized that works.
But
they have this whole thing about area of which
a hand can touch, right?
A hand can touch, and like touch points and like how big things should be.
The 7.9-inch iPad Mini, if you've ever seen any of the people using it, like especially I watched in Josh Topolsky's video.
Yeah.
Your hand does not fit that tablet in any way.
Well, Josh has gigantic
exactly,
hands,
and his hand doesn't fit it.
Yeah.
He has big hands, and his hand doesn't fit the tablet. It's too big for his hands. Now, when I pick up a Nexus 7, it fits comfortably.
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
And I just find it ridiculous that they would go out and say something ridiculous like that. Now,
can we talk about tablets that actually do things?
Now, onto the fact that they released the new iPad.
Real quick, that name, the iPad is on their site is just called iPad with Retina display. Okay,
so the iPad with Retina display. What the hell, Apple? 6 months after you release an iPad, you release another one?
And
this is completely against Apple's mode of operandum.
I felt the burn of this one because
the fact that exactly all the people who bought a new iPad, then they have to like sit there and say, "Oh well, we came out with this new Lightning dock connector," which I'll get into later. They come out with this new Lightning dock connector and they're like, we'll release a new iPad with it. It'll sell.
Which it will, because it's just the newest iPad.
It blows my mind. You're just like screwing all those people over that just bought a new iPad.
Let's put it this way.
I don't care.
Yeah, they're screwing. Like, okay, first of all, I felt the burn of this one because I pre-ordered the iPad 3,
right,
and got it on day one.
The new iPad. Don't call it the iPad 3 because Tim Cook will come down from the heavens and
jab your head.
But I pre-ordered it and got it on day one, and now what is it?
6 months.
6 months later.
6 month.
I'm already like outdated by a newer one.
Right.
Although
because normally it's a year by year basis, and most people, most non-crazy people, will go every other year and they'll buy the newest one. But then you have those people who are absolutely bat crap crazy that buy a new iPad every single year they come out.
Now let me let me put it this way. I kind of just thought of this. They made a new iPad, like the 10-inch iPad,
Right.
because they want the ability to say, "Oh, we just released this thing in October. Look at how crazy well it's selling for the holidays." You know what?
Let's do it again.
But that doesn't matter because
It's gonna sell crazy well.
well, if it was still the iPad 3, it was still going to sell crazy
Exactly.
well
It's
because
gonna sell nuts anyways, right.
were it came out in May and
But
people were going to buy it for Christmas for people, and
Now-
now there's just a new one.
Right.
That's
and
so
that
they're going to
just-
say, "Oh, we just released this back in October and it's selling like gangbusters." Well, of course it is, because the iPad 3 would have sold like gangbusters this Christmas too.
So now let's talk about the Lightning dock connector, which is the most ridiculous concept ever. Apple goes out and they have a 30-pin connector which allows for media control support. So you have car companies like Ford, Cadillac, Chevy that implement USB drives into their vehicles, as well as companies like iHome and alternative companies like that. Excuse me. That release these devices that have the optimization for media control through a 30-pin connector, and it's great. Everyone's happy. Blah blah blah. You know, all these cars are coming out with it, and then they go and switch to an 8-pin connector, which loses support for all media control.
Yep.
Why? Because it's smaller.
Because Apple is a bunch of sickos.
It makes
they just
no
like
sense.
to screw
Yeah,
everyone up. No, seriously.
It's so sadistic. It's so technologically sadistic. Like, hey, car companies, go out, make cars that support our iPod so that people can control it on their dash and on their steering wheel. Oh, sorry.
Just what I want.
We've
People
been
playing
developing
with
this
their iPad while they're driving their car.
No, because you would control it from your dash, from your stereo. You'd push next,
All right.
and it would play the next
I'm
song.
gonna be devil's advocate for a second here. But Nick, why would you want to use that outdated cord that's just so messy and you have to
Exactly.
plug it in? Oh, just use AirPlay. Just
You can't
develop your
AirPlay in cars. You'd have to
Why
have wireless in
can't
cars.
you?
Wireless.
Well,
This pisses me off.
But I'm sorry, we're Apple, and you really need to start.
I feel like your devil's advocate
You
is
need to-
sarcastic.
Very sarcastic.
You know what? I resent that.
Okay, let me do the
No,
devil's
but-
advocate
but-
here.
But no, honestly, Nick, your new Ford Fusion, it needs to have an 802.11 Wi-Fi network in it.
You know it does. But
Or use freaking
I'm sorry.
Bluetooth.
But you went out and said, "Hey, make these abilities with 30-pin dock connectors." But that's the thing, though. They don't have AirPlay support in cars because Apple went out and said, "Yeah, use the 30-pin dock connector because it'll work." And then
Right.
they were like, "Oh wait, we've been developing this for like a year and a half now, but we just decided not to tell
Who
you."
are the retards that were just like, oh, hey, you know what? Let's just use their 30-pin connector support. Why don't we just build a wireless standard that would support all devices, not just iPads?
Well, it exists, and it's called Bluetooth.
Oh, my God.
And-
Bluetooth? No way. No freaking way.
But car companies just don't have that. Well, I mean, some of
Well,
them have that support,
here-
but they don't
let
have
me-
that support for media playback because Apple doesn't support the media playback over Bluetooth.
I think it was also like a terrible decision on the part of the car companies to put like these standard, just
yeah,
the
agreed,
device specific
But that's
inputs
Apple.
in their cars.
But that's Apple. What is Apple so good at? Hey, this only works for iPhones.
Hey,
Yeah.
guys, yell at me when we're talking about real tablets that actually do things.
Well, we're about to, because we're jumping on.
Yeah,
We're
we got to
talking
move on.
about-
We spent too much time on that. We're talking about Windows 8 next.
Yes, we are. Because Windows 8 got announced yesterday. Well, it went on sale yesterday, but they had a couple announcements yesterday. October 26th.
October.
But yeah, you know what? This whole Apple announcement just like it gave me the biggest headache I've ever had in my life. And it's obnoxious. Like what they're doing to all these other companies and what they're doing to their consumers. But and the thing that kills me is they get away with it.
Of
Like
course,
people are just like, "Oh, it's just Apple. I'm going to buy a new one anyways." What is wrong with you people? Get out of the herd. Stop being sheep. I'm gonna John C. Dvorak this all day.
Yeah, no, it like
it's obnoxious. Like seriously, this Apple event further like pushed the point that Apple users, Apple fanboys are sheep.
No,
and you know what? I am completely comfortable saying that.
Well,
write me fan mail or hate mail, whatever you want to write me.
I think
it's obnoxious.
Actually, from my perspective, the biggest things they announced at that were not the iPad Mini, but the MacBook Pro and the iMac. Like, in my opinion,
but the iPad Mini was what the event was about.
Yeah, I know, but
That's
like,
sad, but all the engineering went into the
really
actual two devices.
They had
that
wowed
I
me.
love.
They wowed me with the MacBook Pro.
Yeah, that was great.
And they
That's a
wowed me
great
with
device.
the iMac. But I remember tweeting this. I
I'm
said,
iffy about the iMac.
if they don't announce an iPad Mini today, I would still be totally happy because that was great. Like new MacBook and new iMac.
And then when the new iPad came out, I was just like, done.
I could like care less. Like from
It
the
should
moment
never
I
have
saw
happened.
it.
It should never have been released.
Okay, guys. And now
Anyways.
after we
Lucas
talked
is back.
about these other things for a long time, let's talk about actual, OSs that
right.
do things.
Yesterday, October 26th, Windows 8 announcement. Lucas, you've got the floor.
I'm ecstatic here because I actually bought Windows 8 because I'm this person.
Let me preface this before you continue. Lucas is, I believe, Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong. Lucas is the only member of the group that has used Windows 8 more than like 2 days.
Yeah, that's probably
I've used it,
true.
I've been using it
I've
for
used
the
it
last
for 2 days.
month or so, actually a couple months. I love it. I like how you can hop around and things really fast. It's a lot better OS than Windows 7. It's I guess you're not. It's Windows 7 is nice with a desktop. I'm gonna hear all the complaints. Yeah. I can't use my desktop with this, but it's just a lot faster.
You can.
You can. It's
Very
very
easily.
simple. It's like, yes, the start menu is a bunch of tiles, but you know what?
Just get a good mouse.
In fact, correct,
It's all about your input devices.
Yeah.
correct me if I'm wrong, but I've heard actually very good things about the Windows 8 desktop
Yeah.
experience. That it's actually
does.
like there are improvements over 7.
They are.
So that enough for me is incentive to take a look at it.
I love it
know?
as a media PC. I'd like it a lot better as that because I can get around through things so much faster. It is a much more streamlined service. Like I can get in and out of my apps faster. I can just everything's a lot more simple.
in the Metro interface. Yeah.
Yep.
And that's cool. I'm all for innovation in that
Yeah.
space because I think the desktop has been around for so long. I mean, literally,
Yeah.
Xerox PARC,
Yeah.
like the late 70s.
Yeah.
Holy crap! Like that's when Apple, first stole it and like started putting it, in their Macs. And it's like we've been living with that kind of interface for how many years now?
And that's the thing is the desktop
30 years
is there if you absolutely have to have it, but it's it feels outdated when you're using the OS. It feels outdated because like when you move your mouse up into the top left corner, it shows up a list of all your recently running apps. Just like, oh hey, I want to run this one. You move your mouse down, you click on it, or you go down to the bottom left corner and all of a sudden your start menu pops up, or you go down to the bottom right corner and your charms menu pops up. It just everything just kind of flows and works. Like it has a gigantic learning curve. I will completely agree with that. Like, it will take you a while to figure out this OS, but once you do, you can fly through it.
That's awesome, and I'm really excited for that.
It's something that I recommend everyone goes and play with. Hell,
Like,
go and get the release preview, put it on your computer for free, play with it. It's awesome.
yeah. I sadly haven't had the chance to put it on any machine yet. I was gonna try and put it on my Dell, but then I had to give my Dell one up to my brother because his laptop
Oh, I'm sorry.
crapped out. Well, I never use the Dell anymore anyways. But I was going to just try it out on there and see, but I just, whatever. Actually, I want a Surface. I kind of do. Not the RT, but the
I do too.
Let's before we get into the form factors, let's actually talk about Surface first.
Surface?
Just
the RT?
Like RT Surface?
Yeah. Surface and RT. Let's jump onto that.
All right.
Wow. Surface RT. The biggest.
Because this is actually like this is kind of like the opening of the form factors. This is the Windows 8 device. This is the
it's the flagship.
In the sense, yeah, it's a flagship device. So we're gonna get onto that before we talk about form factors.
Surface RT is the most beautiful piece of hardware that has disappointed me the most.
Now explain what the hardware looks like to our listeners that
It
may not know what it
is
looks like.
it's just a solid chunk of metal.
So are most devices.
Yes, you're right, but it's like you're not gonna break it. It is built solid to where it's something where Microsoft went out and just dropped it on stage. It's like, hey, check this out. Drop. Hey, check this out. We're gonna skateboard on our tablet.
Yeah, their keynote for Windows 8. Yep.
Awesome. But
cool.
Then they release an OS in Windows RT that is just it doesn't feel done. And it makes me sad. Like
that's what I've heard.
You can say you can be like, oh well, the apps just aren't there. Well, it's more than just the apps. Like you jump into certain apps and they're kind of sketchy. The performance isn't there, and it's just, it's like Windows Phone where you're sitting here and you're just like, oh man, this is really responsive in just your standard window, and you're like, man, I can flick back and forth, and I'm going from tile to tile, and then all of a sudden you hop in an app and it's just like, oh, it's lagging. I'm trying to play Angry Birds and the little bird is like skipping across the screen. What's
Isn't
going on?
that what he always does?
Oh. No, it's not. But yeah.
Angry Birds sucks.
I was thinking about this the other day, and it's like, the kind of the tagline for Windows 8 is like, a system without compromise.
Yeah.
And but we've seen this story before, and it happened with Apple. Like iOS is based on OS 10, but when they made the iPhone and then later the iPad, I would argue that was a system that was heavily compromised.
Yeah.
In order to work
Agreed.
for ARM, because
Agreed.
that's what their chipset is on
It is.
Apple, and then we're seeing the same thing happen again with Microsoft. Yep. In order to make these low-power devices work on ARM, you have to sacrifice some things, and that's unfortunately not the part about Windows 8.
Right.
And Windows in general that excites me. What excites me about Windows 8 is like I know I can go in there and use applications, not apps, not these little dinky apps from a store, but applications.
Yeah,
full-fledged like Photoshop.
I sound like an old man here saying like, I can go in and use Office. I can get into a tablet and be like, oh shoot, I have to write up this email in Outlook for work. Wait, right. You're using Outlook? Who are you?
Yeah.
It's what I have to use for work. I have to write up a Word document. I have to write up an Excel spreadsheet. I have to write up a PowerPoint. Like,
yeah. And I would say the Office in RT is the only thing that has kept it from being like a complete, total failure.
Exactly.
Like.
But you have to jump into the desktop to use it.
I know.
What the heck?
I know. It's
Microsoft,
weird.
What are you doing?
It's because it's like you said earlier, it's not finished. It's like they haven't gotten that far with Office yet. That Office team's probably behind. They're not where
they are 5 years behind.
5
iOS
years.
Came out in 2006.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah.
We were using Windows Mobile.
07.
I had
but
a Windows Mobile phone back in 07. I had a Windows Mobile phone back in 2006
and
that could do Office,
and it was based on x86.
Yeah. Well, it was running on ARM, but I basically had XP on my goddamn phone. It was garbage. It was a total pain.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that.
That's what painful memories.
But like,
I still love that phone.
Microsoft was working in the mobile phone space back then. They had a market share, and what'd they do? They tried to jam their desktop operating system onto a mobile phone. Yep. Then all of a sudden, iOS comes out. iOS, oh hey, we can use touch on a phone. What's this concept? We don't need a stylus? Oh my god. And what did Microsoft do? They retrofitted onto Windows Mobile.
Mm-hmm.
It was garbage. And it made everyone it made me cry inside, but I wasn't everyone. Everyone else was just like, oh hey, iOS, this is awesome. And then they went over there. But you know what you lost with iOS? You lost all the productivity that you had. Like, iOS is great. It's simplistic. It has all the apps. It has people know how to use it. Like, you can give it to someone that really doesn't even know what a keyboard is, and they can use it.
True.
Mhm.
True.
Where
That's true. It's intuitive.
It's intuitive. I'm gonna say that. Like, but then if you would show them a Windows mobile phone of that era, they would just be like, "Wait, a file explorer? Why is this on a phone?"
Yeah.
Like,
I have very good reasons why it's on the phone.
I do too, but we are not normal.
Yeah, we're
I'm
not
okay
very
with
normal
that.
people.
I'm okay with that.
I
I'm
am
alright
too,
with that
but
too.
beside the point.
All right, let's talk about some form factors.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some Windows 8
Wait.
form factors because these are actually really important to the operating system.
I have to be done crying about Windows RT and
I
how the
don't want to
Surface
hear anymore.
really
crying.
let me down.
Really?
It is a bit of a letdown though. You are
I kind
correct.
of still
mean-
want to buy it, but I'm so
See,
sad.
the Surface that's a problem. Is the Surface is such a great device, but it's just such poopy
You have to
software on
buy it and take Microsoft on their word that they're going to improve the software, because if they improve the software,
Good luck with that wish.
it is like it's like buying a graphics card that does not have good firmware, and it's like,
and they're saying,
oh,
yeah,
hey,
it'll come out.
you know what, down the road we're going to all of a sudden improve frame rate by 20%, like what AMD kind of did, and we're going to improve it with a firmware update. Okay, yeah, I'm going to buy this right now and then wait for you to improve everything later on.
All right, we are going to jump to form
Yeah,
factors
sorry.
because this is actually the most important part about the release of Windows 8 is they actually open up to new form factors. Well, strike that. Not new form factors, but form factors that were once extinct
Yeah.
and are now getting a revival.
Awesome.
Now getting a revival because of Windows 8. And I actually used to own the first
Oh
one we're
my
going to talk
God.
about. It was the convertible.
Yeah.
I owned a Toshiba XP powered convertible, and it was, in my opinion, the biggest piece of junk I had ever owned in my life.
Yeah, because you were trying to touch on XP.
But it had a dedicated stylus. So the first form factor is a convertible, and if you don't know what that is, it is essentially a laptop
It converts
That-
from a laptop to a tablet.
that is able to somehow flip back to, whether it's a swivel or just a straight hinge, flips back into essentially just a tablet mode, which makes it pretty thick, but at the same time you have PC guts inside of a tablet, which is amazing. Like having like a Core i7 in a tablet is cool.
Yeah, it's nice.
Just what I want a fan on my tablet.
Yeah.
But convertible.
Yeah, I no,
Actually-
believe me, I will.
The Lenovo, if you're looking for a cool convertible that's coming out with Windows 8, the Lenovo Yoga is the one to get.
It looks
It
sweet.
does look pretty nice.
I'm torn between that one and the Asus Tai
The
Chi.
Tai Chi.
though.
The Tai Chi is also an amazing device.
My problem with the Tai Chi is it's expensive, and my problem with the Lenovo is when you flip it into the tablet form, you're gonna be touching a keyboard in the back, which is just
I was
kinda
actually
funny.
yeah, I was kind of surprised that they went that route. I almost would think that they are going to come out with a case that, like a leather case or like a TPU case that covers up the keyboard. So for people who are like in tablet mode more times than they are in keyboard mode or in laptop mode, they have that case to block those keys.
I can picture it, yeah.
Because and the reason is, if they don't, it's kind of stupid because you're going to get a lot of wear on your keyboard,
You are.
unnecessary wear on your keyboard, because you're holding it and your keyboard's right there and your fingers are pressed into the
But
keyboard.
the problem with that is, once you do that, what's the point of the form factor anymore? You can't just be like,
I said,
I'm
it's
sick of using
they
a
would,
keyboard.
but
flip backwards.
they would release it for people like people on the job site and stuff that would prefer to just use the tablet because it's you
Yeah.
can hold it in your hand and you can be standing and it's easier to use with
Mm-hmm.
your finger or a stylus of some kind. That they release some sort of like TPU or leather case that just like sits over the back end
Yeah.
of your device.
It just seems like another layer that I wouldn't really want.
I think it would be a good idea for
It
some
would be a
people.
good idea. Like, it's because this thing is, like you say, you're gonna be holding on, and all of a sudden you're wearing out your keyboard because Lenovo makes some pretty dang good keyboards. Like,
Right.
their laptops. That's why I want one, is because they have good keyboards. Because I care about typing.
They're very nice.
And
They finally
like-
got rid of the red nipple too.
Oh
Oh man, I want to call it what I call it, but
I love just
it's not
fondling
safe for
that
work.
nipple.
So
I love just like sitting there and just like running my finger back and forth over it.
I'm not gonna call it. I'm not gonna call
Just
it.
to be clear, the red nipple was the little thing in the middle of the keyboard on Lenovo laptops that would let you move the cursor around the screen.
I need to figure out what the actual name for this is.
It's a nipple.
I'm sure it's a what?
I don't know.
I'm gonna figure out what the
really
actual
like
pointing stick.
Yeah,
It's called the pointing stick.
No more pointing sticks, guys.
No more pointing sticks.
Can we call it the bondage nipple?
I just wish I could call it what
actually,
I want to call it, but
I'm of the opinion that the pointing stick was an abomination from day one and
it
had
was.
no place in this world.
There was 0 point to having the pointing stick unless your trackpad just like magically disappeared.
Well, yeah.
And you didn't have a USB mouse anywhere.
There's some really bad trackpads out there, so
that's true. Let's continue on.
I would take the red nipple.
Another device or another form factor that is like that Windows 8 was made for is the tablet, which ties hand in hand with the convertible form factor. But the tablet, I have a feeling that we're going to see some real gorgeous tablets out for Windows 8. I have a feeling like Asus is going to release some gorgeous Windows 8 tablets with really good specs. And, you know, I hate to say this, but I think Toshiba is going to release a halfway decent Windows 8 tablet. It's going to be okay, let me rephrase that. I think Toshiba is going to release a really good budget tablet.
Yeah, okay.
They're going to release a good budget tablet. Because Asus's tablet is going to be this powerhouse and it's going to be sexy, but it's going to be expensive. And then Toshiba's going to come out with this like 5 out of 10 looking tablet with 7 out of 10 specs.
Oh, so the Thrive,
but for a really good price.
I'm gonna completely disagree.
I'm willing to bet that Toshiba's going to be made out of plastic.
Oh yeah, it's going to be plasticky. I'm not going to
want to touch it at all.
Yeah.
Exactly, it's going to be plasticky, but it's going to be affordable. It's going to be for the people who don't care that their tablet is plastic.
Yeah,
I'm gonna completely disagree
slippery
with
plastic.
I touched plastic and I don't know.
Touch this.
If I touch that, I immediately lose my boner. That's what happens.
Boner kill right here.
Immediately.
But this abrasive trackpad is nice.
Actually, the trackpad feels pretty good.
Yeah, the trackpad's nice.
Yeah.
The trackpad is like literally a square inch, though.
No, it's not that. You think it's small, but it's not bad.
No, it's tiny. I just
coming from the man with like a 17.100-inch laptop.
Yeah. I love my laptop.
With like dedicated like graphics card, not chip card.
That's the point.
I don't want a laptop
That's
large.
why I have a $1,000 laptop that has an i7 and an HD 57 something.
And then Windows 8 is
5750,
obviously going to make laptops, and the big thing with the Windows 8 laptops is going to be trackpads are going to be nuts good.
Yeah.
They have to be nuts good.
Oh, they have to.
They have to be. Otherwise, it's useless.
And what is up with just like
Windows
what
trackpads.
is the deal with all these laptops
all right
that don't have good trackpads on them like for years?
Like Windows laptops are notoriously bad for trackpads, and like finally we're seeing multi-touch trackpads, like good multi-touch trackpads.
How did it take this long
right
for them to just like
look at the price of a Windows laptop,
which is true, but a trackpad shouldn't add that much.
It shouldn't, but it does.
It's a driver and a bit of firmware.
Really?
Yeah, but
the company responsible for trackpads is Synaptics, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
for good.
Well,
for
like you're
some of
you're
it,
like
yeah.
90% of your trackpads are made by Synaptics.
So is that 90% the good ones? Like the one that's in my MacBook Pro right here?
Synaptics, I believe Synaptics makes the MacBook Pro.
I strongly doubt that.
Because they make. I get this like whatever they do in the MacBook Pro is what needs to be on these laptops.
Synaptics makes the MacBook Pro trackpads.
And also every other trackpad like driver I've ever seen is like Synaptics whatever, you know. Why do all these other Synaptics
well, that's the thing,
touchpads
I think it's all on drivers. I think it's really all drivers.
No,
Just
it's not all drivers.
See my trackpad has multi-touch support.
Yeah.
But not for Linux. And I'm running Linux.
Because they don't have a right driver for Linux.
on there?
What?
Can you fit multi-fingers on your
I have a
trackpad?
large hand, and I can fit 4 fingers comfortably on
I
my
see
trackpad.
3.
Now,
How? 3 and a pinky? Because you can go do something bad in a bad place.
Now, does it not work for Linux because of the driver support?
I think it's just driver support. Because it works on Windows perfectly. Like,
Right.
and it was actually like a weird adjustment switching.
Do you use your whole fist?
I have the hotspot support where I can scroll up and down and left and right
on the side.
like if you're in the right spot. But in Windows, I had a hard time adjusting to this when I switched over to Ubuntu on my laptop.
Yeah.
Was the multi-touch support because I can zoom in and out and things like that. I basically had all the features that a MacBook Pro has,
right?
But the trackpad just isn't as good.
So that was that built into your laptop from day one? Then
it was built into my laptop from day one when I bought it. I reformatted the drive literally the minute I started it up. I reformatted it, and it still like was functioning with Windows 7
the right way,
right,
the way it was supposed
like
to.
when I installed my Windows 7 version on there, it was still functioning. So it was just
That's cool.
It's just the fact that there's not support for Debian.
Yeah.
Which I understand, which I was okay with.
That makes
but I can
sense.
I can still use my hotspots in that to on the sides and the
To
bottom.
be honest, if I loaded Debian on my MacBook Pro and another, partition,
you wouldn't have that support.
I wouldn't have that
There's
either.
Actually, strike that. There is support.
Oh, really?
Yes, there is support, but it's a lot of command line workarounds.
Yeah.
Things like that.
Okay.
All right, continuing on. Windows Phone 8 surprises. Lucas, I'm throwing the floor back to you because you probably again know more about this than we do.
Since Windows has broken my balls so far this week, I'm gonna say there's gonna be nothing. They're just gonna be like, oh hey, guys, we held this off for months. We were like, hey, look, check out Windows Phone back in July, August, and they'd be like,
we're talking about Mango. Or Tango?
No, Tango was like last year.
Mango.
Yeah, Mango got released in.
I thought that was July.
No.
What is
it? Was the spring.
Windows Phone 7.5
was the spring.
Oh, okay.
It was delayed and terrible,
right.
But anyway, Windows Phone 8. They're just like, hey, check out all these new features that we won't let you touch.
That is where Windows 8 is kind of like failing, or Windows Phone 8 is failing at right now because they're not allowing. But people have seen it. I've actually heard of people who have seen it and they love it.
Yeah, but
they're just like contractually obliged not to say what it is. But you know what? It's promising because I trust the people who have played with it and are not allowed to talk about it. I trust those people, and they say it's great.
Yeah. I'm scared that I'm not gonna see anything new, and like they're getting people's kind of hopes up, like, hey, so we've got all these new things that we're gonna show you, and so just wait until.
But I'm talking about people who are avid iPhone users that are like, Windows Phone 8 is great.
Oh, so we have so many features to add that they.
I think it's going to be a great update. I think it's going to be a well-needed update.
Oh, it will, because like with Windows Phone 7.5, they needed to add more things. Like it was a great
copy
OS
and paste
for 2009.
But I think Windows Phone 8 is going to be a great operating system, and it's really going to set the bar for Windows Phone devices, and it's going to sell the. It's gonna sell. I think it's gonna sell Windows Phone devices. Have you seen the HTC 8X?
Yeah.
That is, in my opinion, the sexiest phone on the market.
That was the one thing I was gonna say.
Dirty things I would do to that phone.
Commercials tonight before the Tigers game. HTC commercials. Like when you see that phone, you're just like, oh man.
Yeah, exactly.
I need that. Like it's
and Nokia, anything Nokia makes.
But like, let me put it this way: it has nothing to do with what's running on it. You see that phone,
exactly,
and you're just
and
like,
you want to buy it.
Put that in my hand right now.
Exactly. Like, no one makes phones. No one makes devices like Windows Phone devices.
Yeah. One thing that worries me though, and I might be completely alone on saying this, but when you see Windows Phone like in person, like, and you see it in an ad, you're just like, what the hell is going on?
I do not. And the reason is
like,
is
I love it.
The hardware. When you look at someone with an HTC 8X or a Nokia or Lumia 920, and you see that software running on that device, you're like, this is perfect. This is how phones should harmonize their hardware and software, because it just looks right. Everything on it just looks right.
Don't you think that people look at a phone and expect like an app drawer with like these apps and like,
but that's what
your
Windows
standards, like Windows, like, oh hey, I've got all these like different little icons I click on.
That's
like,
but that's where Windows is like, you don't need that, because
but this is
iOS doesn't have an app drawer.
They don't, but they have like, oh hey, all your apps are here. Like, you've just got these little icons you click on, and and this pops up.
I think Windows 8 is super intuitive, and I think it's gonna do something.
I do too, but I think it's like shocking to the public.
Well, it is, and it's gonna take some getting used to. But I have a feeling it's going to sell when Windows Phone 8 comes out, and HTC is releasing more devices, or Nokia is releasing more devices, and LG, there's a chance they might release some devices. I think we're gonna see a huge push in the mobile market from Windows.
I do and I don't.
The sad thing, at the end of the day, it all comes down to those folks that are in the AT&T stores of the world.
Yeah.
That are like, oh, here's this thing over, like basically the salesperson, like what they want to get to a person.
Oh, don't even get me started.
No. I'm not gonna. Let's not get down that road.
They're the scourge of the earth.
I love
mobile
you,
AT&T people.
Please listen to my podcast.
But no, I agree. Like, I think it has all that potential to do all those things you just described.
I think it's going to be amazing. But that's the thing, though, is we're slowly getting away from, hey, I got to upgrade my phone. I got to go to the Verizon store. I got to go to the AT&T store. It's now, hey, I have to upgrade my phone. I'm going to go to Amazon Wireless. I'm going to go to Wirefly. I'm going to go to Verizon site.
Don't
AT&T
call them
site.
a dumb pipe.
What?
Don't call them a dumb pipe.
They are dumb pipes, and they should be dumb pipes. Sorry, you're all dumb pipes. Screw you, you're dumb pipes.
All right, we're gonna jump on to the next topic here. We're talking about the Google event, which is no longer, for the time being, temporarily. Google was planning on an event for October 29th, correct?
Correct.
29th.
This Monday.
October 29th.
No longer, for the time being.
Temporarily.
Yes, temporarily.
Google planned on having an event on October 29th. Does anyone know the location? Because
it was in New
York. Okay,
yeah,
it's in New York, which is currently under the influence of hurricane.
Freak-a-cane.
and so Google canceled the event for Monday, but we're still going to talk about the rumors that are coming out in said event, which much none of them are rumors.
Can I talk about something actually? And
is it related to Google?
It's related to hurricanes.
I don't remember hurricanes being owned by Google.
Well, they are.
Go.
Do you know the movie like Day After Tomorrow?
That was a mediocre movie. Who was in that?
Nicolas Cage.
No,
that was 2012.
It was
Randy Quaid. Yeah. Okay, yeah.
And
Jake
Gyllenhaal.
Wow.
Pretty good actor, by the way.
Jake Gyllenhaal. Randy
Was
Quaid.
he really? Was Jake Gyllenhaal
But anyway,
in the movie?
That he was.
Damn.
Anyway, in this movie, I just think of, they weren't even hurricanes, but just like
and how
gigantic.
the Google event got canceled in the movie, because I don't remember that being topical.
Hey, they were freezing hurricanes there, but they weren't. They were just like superstorms that sucked cold air and then killed everyone.
Well, that wasn't
like Google events. They just sucked in everything and killed them.
That wasn't sidetracked at all. So the Google event was supposed to happen on October 29th again, like I said,
everyone.
And the hurricane prevented that from happening on October 29th. So they're gonna postpone it, maybe relocate it. We're not sure. But there are some rumors we'd like to talk about, most of which are no longer rumors because they were all just
they going to postpone
leaked
Death
in that.
Valley?
Well, we're going to actually talk about the Nexus 4 first in this episode. This is the device that's going to be released by LG and has literally the worst name of all time for any device. 4. Nexus 4.
So what are you getting this fall, the Nexus 4?
I have a funny story about the Nexus 4 that Gizmodo released yesterday. Yes, yesterday. It's so deja vu-y. The Nexus 4 got found in a bar in New York yesterday.
Oh man. Oh
God damn it.
Yes, some bartender in New York.
We are going to talk the story.
Some bartender in New York found a Nexus 4, and
let me guess.
He talked to the owner of this phone, and it took a couple. He actually found it a little while ago because it took a few days to verify that this guy was actually a Google employee. There was no SIM card in the phone. Oh. There was nothing basically in the phone. It was basically a Wi-Fi only device, and it said on the back of the device, it said not for sale. So if you want to see the post of the legitimate pictures of this phone, we'll post a link in the show notes.
Did Gizmodo pay $10,000 again
Gizmodo.
to
No,
get this
they
phone?
did not. It's actually kind of funny. What happened was, so after a few days of tribulation, the guy gave the device back to its rightful owner, which happened to be a Google employee. He had to verify that, so he wasn't giving it. And this is literally what the bartender said. I wanted to make sure I wasn't giving it to an Apple employee. Good on you, bartender. So he gave it to the Google employee, and then Google promptly emailed him or contacted him in some way, and they said, if you say nothing about this, we'll give you a free Nexus 4. And he was like, nope. And then he emailed Gawker, and he was just like, hey, I took pictures and found a Nexus 4 in my bar. You want to see them? And they paid nothing for it. It was basically just like Gizmodo just made fun of the fact that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
And so there were legitimate photos posted of the Nexus 4 because it was found in a bar in New York. I believe it was New York. It may not have been. Who cares? And so yeah, it was found. It looks like a sexy device. I'm really excited to see the release of this.
Is it still bedazzled on the back?
It's not bedazzled. It's really reminiscent of an ICS live wallpaper.
Okay.
I will only buy it if it's neon blue in the back.
Why don't you just go buy a Lumia 920?
This thing.
And it actually, when I saw the picture of it, you should look it up, guys, if you haven't seen it.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The back of it is actually pretty cool. It's kind of got this Pixel Rain style back to it. It's really interesting. It's a lot different because you have a Google Nexus, right?
I have a Nexus, yeah. But that's the thing, though.
That's more of a. Let me see the back of that. Yeah, it's just kind of a textured back. This is more of a Pixel Rain kind of graphic style background.
The sad thing about it though is I can literally look at my Nexus and just picture it with a different back, and that's the new phone.
Well, I mean, but that's the Nexus line.
Have a
yeah, I mean,
phone.
but
no, but that's the Nexus line. They don't.
I get it.
They don't. They don't want phones that are just drastically different.
Does your phone have
Apple
an
does that
S4
too.
quad?
I don't know what's in this.
Sad.
Uh-oh.
I don't.
Radio silence.
I don't know what this. You guys, listen seriously. I don't care what's in my phone as long as it works
It's snappy.
well. You know what I mean?
See, I do.
Yeah. See, but I have. Why? Okay, let me ask you this: why do you care what's in your phone, in terms of processor and all that?
Because I have a small penis.
Because I like to know. I just like to know.
I mean, for certain things. Yeah,
I mean,
for a computer,
it's
obviously.
amazing. It's amazing. I want my phone to work well. I want it to be snappy. But I just like to know. To know the specs of my phone.
But see, I guess my reasoning is I have very limited storage space in my brain for facts. And I don't need to know what's in my phone.
It's got an OMAP processor.
Okay.
Yep.
That's
44.
Which no longer exists.
As long as my Nexus
4460.
As long as my Galaxy Nexus performs as I expect it to, I'm fine. I don't really need to know what's in it.
Which is that's my number one priority.
That is the
snappy
point of
and it's
phones,
good.
though, yeah.
But I like to know what's in it. Because that's just me. That's just something I like.
Plus,
to know.
It's not very easy to remember what's in these. And here's my reasoning. In any given Android phone, there's a different chipset.
Not for long.
Why?
You have Exynos and Snapdragon.
Yeah, is that
That's
going to be
it.
the only two going forward?
Pretty much.
Okay.
At the moment.
But still,
Because
I
TIO
have a
maps are gone.
that's still 200% more
Intel.
chipsets than
Intel.
Apple.
Intel.
That's never going to
Intel.
happen.
Yes,
That'll
it
never
is.
happen in the US. x86 on Android will never happen.
I disagree.
But
it happened once and it failed miserably.
When?
Motorola came out with an x86 phone.
There's one right now in London. The Razer Eye.
Exactly. Not in the US. I don't
Okay,
care.
I'm
That's-
sorry.
I don't live in
Let's-
London.
Let's get
that's
back.
just Motorola's
Only-
sad
only-
experiment.
only
That's
one of our-
nothing else.
Only one of our listeners lives in London, actually.
Oh yeah. Hi, Jillian.
Hi, Jillian.
No, but okay. The Razer Eye is a good phone. It performs like a. It
Oh, yeah,
performs
but-
like an ARM
but-
device, but it has Intel.
x86 on Android is restructuring apps. You have to restructure apps.
Yes, you're correct.
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
So wait, when you say restructure, you're talking about developing them for x86?
Kind of.
Basically, yeah.
You have
That's
to recompile.
awful.
Oh,
That's terrible. I'm sorry. No, I want no part of that.
Exactly.
Okay, good. Well, I'm glad we talked about that.
But
I was gonna say
I'm
one more
upset.
thing,
Okay, go ahead.
just real quick. I can actually remember what processors are in each Apple device because it's either an A5 or an A6.
an A6.
It's
exactly.
It's simple, but like when I get a new Android phone, I have zero idea of what's in it. I don't care as long as it works well. So, yeah. All right.
We're going
I
to
do,
continue
'cause
on
I'm
with the
a freak
Nexus
of
4. What are
nature.
you guys' thoughts on this? I think it's going to be a great device because LG makes amazing hardware. And
I don't care.
We don't have to deal with their junk software because LG software is
God.
up the duty.
Oh,
Yeah, no, it's
another
the worst.
Android manufacturer that has terrible skins on their phone? No way.
No.
Sense 4 Plus is actually pretty good.
Here's my thing.
Oh, just what I want. Effed up multitasking.
Samsung, LG, HTC. Not so much HTC, but you guys need to learn that.
Even you know what? And I don't think you're going to argue with this. I think the new TouchWiz isn't that bad.
No, it's not that bad.
terrible, but I would.
But that wasn't
still
my
rather
point.
have
That wasn't my
Android
point.
4.
My point was
Stop.
going to be Samsung,
Stop it.
LG. Well, but Samsung, LG, HTC. You think you have design talent at your companies. You think you do, but you don't. You are. Do you know where they're at? They're at Apple.
We're pissing
They're
off
at-
all 5
they're
of our
at
viewers
Google.
right now.
And they're at Microsoft, and they've hired those people, and they do great work. You guys do not.
Correct.
Sorry. Stop it now.
Seriously. No, don't stop it. You know what? Don't stop it. Do something good.
Or
make something
or-
people want. Not something my grandma has to tolerate because it's on her phone. Make something people want.
right. I would be happy to go to to watch an HTC event and like them announce something that I'm just like I actually like ooh and ah at. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
But they have never done that. They have never done that.
Let's
No,
You
they
know what?
really
Like
haven't.
go to Google, hire away a few of their designers. Like seriously,
Right. Right.
like get a few of those folks because let me tell you, that's where they're at.
Android
That's
Jelly
where
Bean.
they're at.
Android Jelly Bean is my favorite operating system.
Go talk to me. Go have lunch with Matias Duarte.
Yes.
Say, hey,
Yes.
who are some of your great people?
Pick his brain.
Get him really drunk.
There you go. This is it. Are you listening, HTC? Are you listening, Samsung?
You need to take him out.
LG, not Motorola.
Get him
because-
really drunk and be like, yeah, like Matias, who's
Give me,
really great.
Give
that
me a
works
couple.
for you.
Give me a couple designers' phone numbers.
Yeah.
Well, I just want to hang out with them.
Just curious.
No, I'm not going to steal their ideas. I just want to hang out.
Obviously not. Acquire them? I wouldn't dream of it. No.
We don't have the money to do that. Let's continue on. We're going to talk about the Nexus 7 rumors coming up. Nexus 7 currently has an 8 and 16 gig
Yes.
options available,
8
and they are
gig at-
priced at
8 gig at
$199 and $249
$199. Yep.
respectively, 8 and 16 gig. However, within this new event, the 32 gig Nexus 7 is going to be released as purported by Carphone Warehouse, which sounds like a really weird site, but they actually are usually the first to get device names
Yeah.
in, and they've had a You're off again.
You switched your mic off again.
They actually have like reported this twice now, that there's going to be a 32 gig Nexus 7.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if they've reported the price points or not, but everyone and their brother is saying that prices are going down. They pretty much have to. Well, that's just a market trend.
Except for one thing that happened is somebody already bought a 32 gigabyte Nexus 7.
Well, no, they bought a 16 gigabyte Nexus 7 and the 32 gig arrived in the mail.
I say they
really?
raised
Yes.
the price.
It was a
to
guy in Japan.
$329.
No. There was a separate one that happened where somebody actually went into a store and exchanged their Nexus.
At Staples.
At Staples.
Yeah.
You guys
They
realize that the new price is $329. Like, that's the price that tablets are. Like, why would you price it?
The
anything
32
other
gig
than that?
Nexus 7
No,
is
no,
going
no,
to
it
be.
won't be $329.
It's going to be
This
no
is some
no
heavy
more.
sarcasm right now.
Oh,
32 gig
bad
Nexus
minute.
7 will be no more than $300. I would almost put it at $249 and see
No, I
the
would
8 gig
too.
going down to
It's-
99. 8 gig go down to 99.
Yeah, I don't think
My
so.
only issue with that is they still need to break even on this thing.
Yeah.
And I don't think going down to 99 for the 8 gig will break.
Okay, so we're saying 150, 150.
149. Well, yeah.
Okay, 150.
Yeah.
Nexus 7 16 gig goes down to 2,
Yeah.
and the 32 gig goes to 249.
I could
I
totally
could
see that in a heartbeat.
That's an easy guess.
That's what I can
I
picture
can already
happening.
see the drop down pick list menu on the Google Play Store
Yeah.
site where I'm like, are you on
And
the
that
18
gorgeous,
or the 16
that
or the
gorgeous
32?
UI, by the way.
Yeah.
Like the Google Play Store and like Android, stock Android, it just has the best UI. I love it. I absolutely love it. For a design aspect, it is just beautiful.
I like cubes.
So, talked about the 32 gig Nexus 7. Let's jump on to a new tablet that Google is reportedly coming out, and actually blurry cam. I wouldn't even call them blurry cam.
This makes me really happy.
Just like
actually.
moderately pixelated cam pictures came out of, which actually I am happy, but at the same time a little upset because they are coming out with a Galaxy Nexus 10. Which, hence, no, there are like pictures, like straight up pictures of it running the new Android operating system.
Jotra took pictures of it on a beach in Hawaii.
I have not seen those.
No, he put it on his Google Plus. It's like,
okay, I saw
he
those.
posted
Yeah,
pictures
like,
with his Nexus 10
that he took with his Nexus 10.
Yeah, it's like taken with my Nexus 10.
I thought you were saying he took pictures of his Nexus 10.
No,
but there are some like moderately blurry cam pics of the Nexus 10 that just actually came out late last night. And it's a good looking device. It matches the user manual that got leaked earlier this week.
Yeah, I saw that.
I'm happy that they're coming out with a 10-inch tablet to compete with the iPad because it will, like, price-wise, it will. Oh, I said price-wise. I don't like the suffix wise. I don't like the suffix wise. In regards to price, the Nexus 10 will compete with the iPad wholeheartedly. However, I'm a little upset, and you guys might hate me for this, that Samsung is making this tablet. I would love to see Asus make the Nexus 10.
No. I don't hate you for it, but I'm just wondering why.
Because I would love to see Asus make the Nexus 10.
Why?
Because I think
Why?
I think the Nexus 7 is such a gorgeous device. I
But
think it's
Samsung
well
makes
designed.
better screens.
Here's the really, really funny thing about the Nexus 7. It was a project at Asus before Google even came in and made that an official Nexus device. You know?
Yeah, but still, I that doesn't like deter me from hating or loving the Nexus 7. I think it's such a gorgeously designed device.
Yeah.
And I would love to see Google say, "Hey, make the Nexus 10."
Make the next one. I think, you know what? I feel like Google's on this thing where they're going to rotate people.
And
you
which
know
is
what I mean?
another rumor that has sort of been going around. There are going to be multiple Nexus devices made by different manufacturers.
Nexi.
The problem I have with the Nexus 10 is I think the back of it is ugly, and I think the shape of it is ugly. It's too round.
It looks.
It's
You know what
kind
it
of,
reminded me of?
It's blobby.
It
Wait,
reminded
does it
me
look
of
like
that
an iPad?
freaking. No, it reminded me of that freaking James Franco commercial with the Samsung Galaxy Note 10.1.
Oh god.
See, but I like the
That's what
I
it
like
looked
the
like.
design of the Note 10.1.
Yeah, but
this is too blobby. It's too just like it reminds me of they actually, I don't remember what, Fuhu, Fuhu makes a kids tablet, which is based directly off the Nexus 7. It reminds me of that. It's like a kid's tablet because it's super just like animated blobby. Like I don't like the shape of it.
Right.
And the back of it is even worse. Like because it has that like I'm assuming this is where the antenna is.
Yeah.
Is it has this bar, which is made out of this. They're claiming it's made out of the same plastic the Nexus 7 back is made out of, and it's just one bar.
Yeah.
And I like I said, I guess that's where the antenna is located, which brings me to a previous point. Nexus 7 3G version definitely coming.
Oh, absolutely. There's no question about that. And it's
Definitely
going to have a camera on it, too.
Correct.
Ooh, a camera on a tablet?
Yeah,
Awesome.
so you can look like an idiot when you take pictures.
God, I have
You
a
can
great,
look like an idiot with your Android tablet taking pictures now.
at least it's 3 inches smaller than the iPad.
Can I just say, people of planet Earth,
Don't take pictures with your tablets.
thank you for finishing my sentence.
You
I
have
appreciate
a
it.
phone.
Yeah.
You have
No, you have. Well, not only do you have a phone, I think you have a right to not look like an idiot, and that's what you look like when you take pictures.
Seriously,
on the
it's like you're
tablet.
holding up a toaster to take a picture.
Yeah.
A really thin toaster.
Can we talk about fridge toaster? Right
No,
now.
we're not talking about fridge
All right.
toaster.
You don't remember fridge toaster from the Apple event?
I have no idea.
Oh my god.
I don't remember what you're
Nick
talking
knows
about.
what I'm talking about.
Fridge toaster.
Fridge toaster was when Tim Cook came on and said, "Hey, well, we didn't invent the fridge toaster because that was a really bad idea. Why would we want to put two things together?" And then there was a Twitter account called @Fridge Toaster, because you know what? You just make Twitter accounts whenever someone says something stupid like
Fridge toaster.
Binders of Women.
Binders of Women is cool.
Hey, bindersofwomen.tumblr.com.
God,
Check it out.
dang it.
Great site. But anyways, real quick, Android 4.2.
Sure. That's going to be... Oh.
It's not key lime pie. It's still
key lime
jelly bean.
shit.
Yes.
It's just an
It's an
update.
updated jelly bean.
And I don't know what I have zero clue of as to what's coming in it.
Well,
Nothing.
that's because the only rumors that came out about 4.2 were all falsified.
My guess.
Project Roadrunner sounded awesome. False.
My guess is that some of the only things that are involved in 4.2 are probably updates to Google Now.
Yeah.
That's actually
Google
that's
now
what
needs
basically
it. Like,
all I've
it's
heard.
really kind of
And-
yeah.
Yeah, I agree. Like I have Google Now on my phone, and I have a rooted and ROMmed HTC Thunderbolt. Wow,
HTC
please
Thunderbolt.
learn to talk.
Jumbo show.
And I have Google Now on it, and it like I don't know why, but it makes no sense to me
It will make sense.
when it gets updated.
Let
It
me
doesn't have support for it right now.
Yeah, let me put it this way. It makes sense to me. I've had those like few like amazing moments of like, oh my god, this is awesome. And that's only happened when I've put events in my calendar
Right.
with an address
exactly.
in it.
Yeah.
And it's like, you need to leave for this event in 15 minutes because of traffic and stuff. And that's like how long it'll take you to get there. I'm just like, oh my gosh, that was the most useful piece of information I've ever
Right.
seen. That's really cool. But useful information only happens once in a while. I mean, I get the score of the Tigers game,
Yeah, like,
all the time.
But you know, my problem is
which
like
is depressing.
is like I get the score of the Tigers game, and then I'm like, okay, I've seen this already, and then it just updates me with the same exact score I saw an hour ago.
right. Yeah.
Like,
No, I
stop
know.
it.
It shows up all the time. And if you look up movies,
Yeah,
it does some
so,
stuff. But
So Google Now is going to get updated in 4.2 for sure, and it's going to be great. Continuing on,
yeah.
Maybe.
back into the realm of phones, or continuing into the realm of phones.
How many
The
topics do we have left?
Just two.
Okay.
And these
All right.
are smaller. So
the U.S. cellular company Sprint, cell carrier Sprint, just got 70% of their company purchased by Japanese cellular carrier Softbank for $20.1 billion, which is actually, I know what you're all saying, those damn Japanese buying out our companies,
no.
is a great thing for the U.S. market.
Do you think?
Yes.
It's an absolutely
because
great thing.
it is going to make Sprint a powerhouse in the carrier market, which if anyone cares, which
a powerhouse?
It's going to be able to compete with Verizon and
What's
AT&T.
the one thing
No.
Sprint has been missing in order to money
Exactly.
and lots of it.
And they just got it because this company had $20 billion to say, hey, I'm gonna buy you. But no, I mean, number one, the technology that Softbank has that Sprint doesn't is it's a Japanese cell carrier.
Damn. But they're behind
And-
us in 4G right now.
4G or LTE.
LTE.
Yeah. But who's ahead in terms of consumer focus?
But see, that's the thing, though.
Nice carrier practices.
Sprint.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And no,
the
I'm
fact
saying in
that-
terms of countries, like you can go to Japan and get a reasonable
And the-
cell phone plan.
And the thing is Softbank knows that. Softbank knows that there is technology and opportunity for them to open up LTE networks in the U.S.
When Sprint
But
is
what
selling
company-
unlocked phones instead of what they're doing right now, like when Sprint is actually convincing American consumers to buy $400 and $500
no.
phones.
But it's going to happen because
I
they're
will be-
going
I'll
to
believe
have
you.
they don't have the network right now. And that's what Softbank is here to do. They gave them the money to build their network. Because they didn't have the money originally because they weren't making it. Because they had to compete with the two companies, the big two of Verizon and AT&T. And now they have that money to drop those networks in and get people on their network. They have no coverage.
Can I just describe to you what my dream is that would come out of this?
yeah.
Galaxy Note 2s for everyone.
It's pretty simple. I mean, we still have contracts and stuff, but maybe they're your contracts. It doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, what I want out of this is to be able to go to my local Sprint store,
or any carrier.
or supported by SoftBank or any carrier once they compete with Sprint,
Right.
with SoftBank, as their backer. I can go to that store and get a phone, and maybe I signed up for like a year contract, whatever. It doesn't really matter. But the monthly rates are actually
Reasonable. Right.
Like
And-
they're at the level that they're at in Europe or
Right.
Japan or
And
China
the,
or wherever else.
And the thing is
I don't
is-
picture it happening.
but the
That's
thing
my
is,
dream. That's
the
my
thing
pipe
is,
dream.
is AT&T and Verizon obviously are in cahoots with each other. They are always working with each other to
Yeah.
make sure they stay there. They stay on top regardless of who's ahead of who. They're still making just boatloads of money. The fact that a company from outside the US that is in no way competitive with or in any way like in relation to Verizon or AT&T bought out this much share in Sprint is great because
Yeah.
that's going to bring in this third party. Hey, we don't care what you two do together. We're here to put in towers and we're here to make customers happy. We're here to make you work for your money.
right.
Because obviously right now Verizon and AT&T do not give a crap about their consumers. They don't care because you're on a contract.
Yep.
What Verizon doesn't care about me in any way. And that's so obvious every time I talk to their garbage customer support. Verizon,
Right.
I'm talking to you.
Let me put it this way. Do you know how much it costs them to send a text message over their
Oh,
network?
it costs absolutely nothing.
Fractions of a penny.
Because that data packet is like 0 point.
Meanwhile, how much do they charge you a month for unlimited texting?
Well, now like technically nothing
Technically nothing.
because of their unlimited shared plans.
Hey,
You
you
On
basically have
Verizon?
to-
can
you
share
basically-
2
you
gig of
basically
data
have to
over
have an
20
unlimited share
phones.
plans.
Well, despite what it is, anything
still-
anything
the-
on top of that
the
is
fact-
like pure profit for
The
them.
fact
That's it.
exactly the fact that they dropped unlimited data is appalling. But they can get away with it because no one else
Dropping
is competing with
unlimited
them.
data though is not that surprising because it's
Well,
just-
because
it's
no
not
one else is
feasible.
competing with them. No,
No.
but no one else is competing.
It's not
with them.
surprising because
T-Mobile,
it's an oligopoly
Yeah, sure.
market, and that's
Yeah,
what's going to
sure.
happen when people don't compete with each
T-Mobile's
other.
got unlimited data, but name me 3 people that are on T-Mobile's network.
My
I
aunt
know
Liz.
one.
Okay, there's 1. There's 2. Whoa, we got 2. Like no one's on T-Mobile's network, and name me people who are satisfied with T-Mobile's unlimited.
Oh, my
sharing.
Aunt Liz is not
No
satisfied
one-
with T-Mobile
No one
whatsoever.
likes T-Mobile.
Yeah.
No one likes Sprint. My dad is on
Yeah.
Sprint, like on his work phone.
Yeah.
He has to walk to the end of our driveway
Oh, are you
to
serious?
get service.
That's
And
awful.
and I mean, we live in an area where I can sit in my room and get 4 bars of 4G
yeah.
of LTE.
Right.
And my dad has to walk to his end of his driveway to get 1X.
That's miserable.
So I think that SoftBank acquiring this much of Sprint is going to accelerate the development of Sprint's networks, and they're going to make them competitive in this market, which is good for everybody.
I sure hope so. We need some
It's good for
disruption.
everybody.
We need some serious disruption.
Exactly. We need to
Oh, yeah.
dethrone AT&T and Verizon because they are just awful people.
Yep. All right.
Let's talk
we
about
go.
some music streaming services.
Oh,
Apple
God.
Apple is coming out with a Pandora-style music streaming service that'll probably launch early next year. Lucas, let's hear about it.
Well, I honestly don't know too much about it yet.
Well,
but
there hasn't been a lot
there
of
really
announcements
hasn't been
about
much
it.
released about it yet. But right now I am a dun Zune Pass subscriber.
Oh,
Yeah, I know, shocker. And I do that. I listen to Pandora quite often. I listen to Spotify, and I'm kind of excited for the entire subscription model being pushed forward. It's because like right now we're on this thing where like, oh hey, let's download crap on iTunes. Yay,
Ugh.
paying $15 a album.
that you can buy in the store for $8.
Yeah, I don't.
But
understand it.
physical media, oh no!
Hey, I still buy CDs.
I love CDs.
I will buy a CD
I-
for a band that I really care
love
about.
I will
CDs.
I will buy a CD for a band I really like just because I get the album art.
That's why I love them.
I
I
support
love
the band.
physical
and
media.
Then I just have it kind of sitting in front of me, which I still load it on my computer and then throw it up in the cloud and it disappears into the cloud. But anyway, back to this entire iTunes, Pandora, whatever the hell it's gonna be. I think this is good
They're
for the
gonna call
market.
it- they're gonna
this is
call
gonna
it-
be great.
They're gonna call it Ping 2,
I hope not.
and it's gonna fail
But-
just as hard as Ping.
It's not gonna fail.
No, I don't think. it
If
will
they
either.
build a good service, this is going to be awesome for the market because it is going to finally kill the MPAA.
the
not
Motion
gonna happen.
Picture Association
Well,
of America.
maybe not the motion picture. Okay.
The RIAA?
The RIAA.
That
Yeah,
is
okay,
never
that's
gonna
what I was
happen.
gonna s-
That
yeah.
will not happen.
I'm really tired. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's okay. Don't worry about
By
it.
the
it-
way,
it
this
will
is the
kill the
this
RIAA.
is the late night version of TechBuzzed.
Yeah,
podcast.
we're up pretty late. It's like almost 1 a.m. right now.
It
We're
is,
doing
yeah.
this
It's
on a
almost
Saturday
1 in
night.
the morning, my people, and we're getting hot and sexy.
No,
in
I
here.
have a feeling that the RIAA will not die because of this.
They won't die because of it, but getting more people into using subscription services for their music, I think, is great because it's going to lessen the importance of these entire
Record
RIAA,
labels.
yes.
Thank you.
Like, my only problem is though right now is the record labels are still very important because they're the way that you get music onto these services, but I think
it also,
over time
like,
it is very
these,
good for the
but
market.
these services also lessen the need for record
Yeah,
labels.
they do over time.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
And another announcement earlier this week that's a little more real than this Apple streaming service is Xbox Music released by Microsoft, which is actually pretty cool because it is completely cross-platform in terms of its app is out on Android now.
It is.
Yes, it is. It came out today.
Oh, okay.
Today or
I
yesterday?
haven't looked
Yes.
at it at all. I don't know.
They're strike that. Excuse me. The what is that app called? That Windows is touting with Microsoft or with Xbox and your Surface tablets and that. Smart Glass. Smart Glass came out for Android yesterday.
Really?
But that leads the way to your.
Wait a minute here.
Yes, it did.
I don't.
Check Android,
Okay.
please. Xbox Music, that's just like leading the way for Xbox Music to be released on, and they've already talked about this, Android, Apple, Microsoft, Xbox. It's going to be on the whole shebang. It's going to be a subscription-based service, really similar to the Zune Pass. However, they're kind of like fitting things with that Metro. You see, it's on the Android marketplace.
Right. I'm shocked that it's on here actually.
It's gonna be fitting to similar to the Zune style interface, or excuse me, Metro style interface. But it's going to be similar to a Zune Pass where you're buying the subscription and you get your unlimited music, kind of like Spotify. However, it's going to be more supported on Xbox, Microsoft, like Windows 8 is really going to be supportive of this. And then especially Smart Glass, but that's a whole different topic.
So really Xbox Music is just...
It's like Spotify.
But the name Xbox is really just the branding out there.
Yeah, exactly.
Really,
Yeah,
like just because I called it Xbox doesn't really mean anything.
No,
it's just
it means nothing to.
It's just like, welcome to the Microsoft like streaming music service.
It more than likely it'll get released first on the Xbox, and that's just gonna be that's it.
I mean that makes
Well,
sense.
it's already out on Xbox.
Yeah, exactly. So but it's Xbox Music, because they're trying to centralize everything. Especially, which is I'm kind of surprised at. They're trying to centralize things around the Xbox.
Yeah.
Like with this whole smart glass adaptation, things like that. Like that's, I think it's kind of cool.
It is kind of cool.
I think it's trying to keep their
Xbox
console gaming
owns
alive.
the living room right now.
Right. Exactly. They're trying to keep their console alive. So I think Xbox Music should be something to look out for. It's going to be a competitive streaming service. And I have a feeling they're going to bundle. They're going to bundle things
right after Apple. They're going after the casual market.
I think they're going after, like Apple with your Apple TVs and things like that. Like they're going after the set-top box. They want to make you buy an Xbox and say, why do I need an Apple TV? Why do I need a Google TV? I have an Xbox. I can support Hulu, Netflix, Amazon Instant Video. I have streaming music services. And it's all bundled into one device.
Yep.
No point in buying all of them.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And I think good on you, Microsoft, for doing this. You're adding competition to the world, and you're doing it well. Like the screenshots I've seen from this, they look amazing.
For the music streaming, yeah.
I think the current Xbox UI is amazing.
I have my Xbox dashboard on my phone right now.
Yeah, I think it's gorgeous.
Funny you mention that.
Like Smart Glass is great.
I literally ran into somebody today that I know who was like, somebody was talking to me about, like, he was like talking about Windows 8, but he was like, he had never seen it. Okay. Even in screenshots.
Wow, really?
Like, he was like, yeah, Windows 8, that's kind of crazy. I hear it's like, what does it look like? I don't even know. He's like,
that's strange.
Yeah, I was just like, in the way I described it to him, because I knew he would know this. I was like, picture the Xbox UI.
Right.
But like applied to Windows, and he's like, "Oh,
it's cool."
Whoa,
yeah. So
love you, Joe. Sorry you didn't know what I was talking about today, but
so we're calling it for the technology portion of our podcast, and we're going to start our beer of the week, which we'll talk about in a little bit. We'll see you in a minute. And we're back from our music break. Time to open up the beer segment of the week, where we discuss, each bring a beer of the week, and we discuss which one's the best. Our previous winner, the Jaw Jacker, we will taste again this week. Make sure we know that the new beer is the reigning champion, or the previous beer, Jaw Jacker by Arcadia Ales, continues on its reign. We actually have a special guest this week for our second podcast. Our good friend Kent Schultz is here to introduce a beer, and he believes that it's the best beer of the week. So, Kent, you've got the floor.
All right. Thank you very much, Nick. I have selected a particularly seasonal and festive brew by one of my favorite breweries, Shiner, out of Texas. So it doesn't really get any more American than that, if I may say so myself.
Agreed. America.
You stay out of this. Anyway, it's Shiner Holiday Cheer, and it's ale brewed with peaches and pecans.
That sounds delicious. If I may interrupt.
When you smell this, you will.
That's again. Since you're new to this, we're gonna smell the ale.
Okay.
You taste it, pass it around, and after we try it, you take a gherkin to cleanse your palate.
Sounds just like my first prom.
And gherkin is like
It's a pickle.
is a pickle. That's like random Michigan
it's a
speak
good
for a pickle.
It's a good palate cleanser.
Yep.
Yeah, totally.
So, got anything else to say about your beer?
I just want to say that the bottle is marvelously decorated.
I agree. I think that's
kinda
really
nice.
well designed.
I mean, really.
It's
very
like
60s
retro.
Christmas.
Yeah, it's like retro Christmas.
It's very 60s Christmas.
I mean, if you're looking for a holiday brew, this is most definitely it, might I say, compared to all that other crap that's on the market.
You know how I love Christmas too.
I
So.
know.
Yeah,
That-
you do.
It's not like you're
That gets-
familiar with that at all.
No.
And this podcast sponsored by Brunner.
Whoa.
So let's give her a crack and we'll give her a taste.
Especially after a hard week at work, I do enjoy a good shiner. So here's to you, gentlemen.
I'll
Thanks
give you a
for,
shiner.
Ooh. Later in the parking lot.
All right. I don't know what that means.
Here's to you, my wonderful hosts, for having me on the show.
All right.
It smells like
good.
peaches, slight little grapefruity, little citrus action going on in there. Everybody, let's get it around the group here. Everybody have a sip.
Try it out.
Take a sniff.
Oh, I definitely the peach smell is really prevalent in this. I like it a lot.
But wait till you get the taste. That's where it gets you. Yeah.
See, this beer is great. I don't know if I'd call it a holiday beer
True.
because it is really heavy. Well, I shouldn't say that. It's not heavy with the peach flavor, but the peach flavor is prevalent. And peach and Christmas are not two things that go hand in hand, but it is quite delicious.
Yes, and very festive. That's what we're going for. I mean,
Yeah,
it's like
I
a
mean,
combination.
yeah, for sure.
It's
You
not-
can taste a bit of the pecan in there, which I really like. I'm not a big fan of pecans, but it's good.
And that's the
I
thing
like
too.
it.
Is I mean, it's not specifically marketed towards Christmas. Like
Right.
everybody has their old fuzzy wig on
But
and whatnot.
holiday, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, it incorporates Halloween, which everybody skips, and then you've got Thanksgiving, you've
Right.
got a little Xmas, a little
Oh
New
yeah,
Year's
that,
action going on.
I agree with that. I definitely see where you're coming from in that. I like that.
Hanukkah, Kwanzaa. I mean,
Yeah,
you get that
definitely-
festive flavor in there.
Yeah, definitely holidays. If you incorporate things like Christmas and Thanksgiving and Halloween and that. So
I like it.
we've all tasted it. I think it's a really good contender for this week, and I'm glad you brought it.
Thank you.
All right.
guys.
So to remind the folks, that's the
The Holiday Cheer by Shiner.
yep.
Good.
So
Good stuff.
since my beer was the ultimate loser of last week, we're gonna take a gherkin. And,
Oh yep.
enjoy
Cleanse our
that.
palate here. real
And
quick.
then while we do that, I'm gonna introduce my beer for the week. I brought Taproom 21, which is a small brewing company out of Rochester, New York, and I'm bringing their Moe's Backroom Amber Ale, which sounds pretty sketchy, but it's brewed with
sounds like
honey.
Mo. Sounds like Mo from The Simpsons
Moe's
makes
Tavern,
this.
Moe's
Yeah.
It's brewed with honey. I tasted it earlier today. It's a good amber ale. So we're gonna crack this bad boy open
Okay.
and we're gonna give it a taste.
I do like amber ales a lot.
As do I. Give her a good smell. She smells good. Yep. Just like I tasted it an hour ago.
All right. Here we go. That is nice.
Heck, that is just downright pleasant. I wish I
And
had a
the,
steak
and,
right now.
and you know the best thing about this beer is it was $8 for a 6-pack.
Really,
That's not bad.
Yep.
And
So Luke, you got any input on this?
That is pretty dang good for a like. I'm normally not a big fan of
Amber ales.
of an amber ale, but it's actually it's pretty good. It's smooth. It's
Yeah.
it's really easy to drink.
Definitely. It's an easy drinking beer. You don't get a lot of the honey taste, which I was kind of hoping for, but there's still that back taste of honey in there.
Yeah.
But I'd agree. I think it was a good choice, and it was literally just out of a whim. I just decided to buy it, and so we're gonna continue on. And Lucas, take the mic here, and you're gonna talk about your beer for the week because Lucas's beer came in second place last week.
Yeah, distant second place, but
I wouldn't even say distance. I think you had a pretty good beer
I
last week.
had a
liked
wrong beer for the week, but it was a good beer. But what I've got this week is it's called a Lion Stout. I honestly have no clue what this is gonna taste like. I'm kind of afraid of it because it's brewed not in this own country, and
It's not American, which means
yeah,
your brew loses.
I'm kind of scared. It's a product of Sri Lanka, imported by Elite Brands through
Tamil
Kalamazoo.
Tigers make this.
No, the Tamil Tigers did not make because it has a lion on it. Is that a tiger? No, it's a lion.
Good point.
I honestly have no clue. So yeah, it was interesting. So if everyone just starts vomiting on the set, it was my fault.
We
I will
apologize.
Take it. I'm sorry. So that's why I'm gonna hand it off to Nick here and see what he thinks
Oh,
of
so
it.
I'm gonna start drinking it. Oh man, I have no smell right now.
I have not tried this at all yet.
It does.
So
It does
I
have a
don't
pretty good stout smell.
The label is like it looks like Aslan is on the label.
Yeah, it definitely
It's
does.
very majestic.
So we're gonna give it a taste here. Ooh. I do like this. This is a really unique stout, I would have to say. It almost has a bourbon aged taste to it.
Oh,
I get a bit of bourbon in this.
That's nice. Let me try this out here. Okay.
Maybe a little bit of like kind of a wine taste to it.
Oh wow.
I like that.
Oh man. Lucas, that's really good.
Yeah, that was a good blind call.
Yeah. Wow.
I hate you, Lucas.
Wow, I am honestly kind of surprised, but yeah, I'm excited for this to get around to me now.
Yeah, no, it's
These guys could be totally shit.
no, we're not you. It's super tasty.
Yeah, that's beer
That-
candy. That is beer
That's the
candy.
closest thing I've tasted to that black count. What's it called? The
Bourbon County.
Bourbon County.
Which is brewed by Goose Island Brewing Company. They only do it once a year. It's a limited release, and they age it in bourbon casks. We had a couple bourbon counties last year, or earlier this year rather, that were a couple years old actually, and
Yeah,
and
aged.
like the brewmaster said, is they're a lot better aged. So the ones we had were from 2007 and 2009.
Which, by the way, might I add, this is a wonderfully cheap alternative.
It is. How much was this?
Because
$4.
$4, Lucas says. Which is this is a 22 ounce, or I think it's more than that.
Yeah.
That's really tasty.
One
It
pint
is. It is.
0.5. I don't even know how to read this. It's 625 milliliters.
for you Magic fans.
This
out
is
there.
made
Yeah.
in Europe
Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka.
or Sri Lanka.
Yeah. It's,
So Lucas, what did you think about your own beer?
I thought it was good, but I'm really tight.
I don't know what that meant, but Lucas normally isn't a stout fan. That's why I'm kind of surprised he
Not
brought
at
this
all,
this
but
week.
It was a blind pick. I was there when he picked it out, and he had
So-
no idea what he was walking into.
So yeah, Lucas normally isn't a stout fan.
Yeah.
Ryan.
I like that a lot. All right.
Ryan,
Moving on.
our reigning champion for this this last week, our inaugural week of the TechBuzzed, is bringing a local beer. Am I correct?
Yeah. So I brought the last one I brought was from Arcadia Ales, which
This
is
is in the west side of the state, Kalamazoo, I believe.
Oh, that Arcadia Ales is in Michigan.
Yes, I believe
Oh.
I believe it's Kalamazoo.
See, I got confused, and I thought for some reason Arcadia Ales was from outside of the state.
Battle Creek.
Battle Creek, yes. So close enough.
I okay, then I don't feel so bad about my pick last week. Like I was trying to keep it local this week because I was just confused, and I thought Arcadia Ales was from elsewhere. But anyways, I
know the promoter for Arcadia Ales.
Oh,
well.
nice.
Yep. He's from around here.
So I wanted to keep it in Michigan again this week, and I almost got. Let me preface this by saying I almost got this Ichabod Ale that's like this pumpkin ale.
I wouldn't. It's a good thing you didn't bring it.
I'm glad I didn't bring it now from New Holland. But then
it wasn't that great.
Then I saw this. This is the Dirty Blonde Ale from Atwater Brewery, and they're based out of Detroit. And just to let you know, there's some art on this beer and on the 6-pack case of nice looking drawn blonde gal with a Detroit, Tigers D tattooed on her lower back area, and
yeah, it's a very graphic logo.
Yeah,
well, graphic in the sense of it's illustrated graphically.
She's my kind of lady, so that kind of caught my attention. With Detroit being in the World Series and everything else.
And this is by what brewing company?
This is by Atwater Brewing Company.
I believe you said it earlier, but I wanted to make sure.
Yeah, and it's Dirty Blonde Ale, and the subtext here is ale brewed with orange peel and coriander.
So we're looking at a Blue Moon, similar to a Blue Moon.
Sort of like that, although
it's a blonde ale as opposed to a wheat ale.
I will say when I had it earlier, I tried one earlier, I liked it better than Blue Moon.
As I don't like Blue Moon, so do I.
Okay, all right, here we go. I'm gonna try a little bit again here. Pass it around.
Yeah, please pass.
Just looking at the bottle, I mean.
Yeah, I know. Look at that
here.
girl.
A little bit turned on.
Oh man.
And I do like that they mark the brew date right on the bottom of the bottle, so you
Which
can see.
Yeah, they do.
It's something I really like about Atwater.
Yeah, it's nice and fresh,
Mm-hmm.
It was a good, refreshing beer.
Yeah, it's nice and refreshing. It doesn't hit. It's not too heavy.
I think this is one of the great summer beers.
Yeah,
sure.
Definitely.
Yep.
And this is Lucas Ritter. I'm back from the dead here.
Lucas
It-
is pretty
it is
tired
pretty
out
good.
right now.
If
I'm
only
dying
there
right
was
now.
video right now.
You guys would all think I'm just you would think I'm just high off my ass. It's bad. But that's I've had it before, and it's a really good beer. I really recommend it. It's a very summer beer. It doesn't want to kick you in the balls quite like my Lion Stout does.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you like your testes, drink that beer.
Yeah, no, it's just kind of a nice, refreshing, light, blonde ale, and yeah, really, the only reason I bought it was because it caught my attention with the logo, with the girl with the tigers.
Apparently, you can judge a book
tattoo.
by its cover.
No, and I did, and I judged, and I like what I tasted afterwards.
So we've tasted all 4 beers.
Yes.
And like we're doing beer of the week, where we pit our reigning champion, which happens to be the Jawjacker by Arcadia Ales.
Oh, right.
Against. Well, now first we have to vote.
Right.
On what the beer of the
what
week
is this beer of the week? Yeah.
So, Ryan, beer of the week for week 2.
You're gonna have to help me out with the names again. So there was a Shiner
Holiday Cheer.
Shiner Holiday Cheer, Lion Stout.
Well, this one came after that.
Oh, yep.
Tap 21,
Tap
Amber Ale,
21 Amber Ale, and then the
then
Lion,
the Lion Stout,
and
then the Dirty Blonde.
Honestly, after having that Lion Stout, I can't vote for my own anymore because that was pretty awesome. Like that beer reminded me of the closest thing I'd tasted since we had that Bourbon County Ale,
exactly,
which is maybe the best beer I've ever tasted in my life. So I'm gonna vote for the Lion Stout.
Kent, our guest speaker for the day.
I have to agree 100% with Ryan. That Lion Stout is simply fantastic, and it's a wonderfully priced beer for the flavor that you get compared to something like that Bourbon County where you have to pay a lot more. It's a great value and a great flavor. I'd vote for the Lion Stout.
All right.
And since I'm a total pussy and can't handle stouts, I'm gonna vote against my own beer and vote for the Shiner, even though I know it's gonna lose. But I love that Holiday Cheer. It's faith. Just it tastes like God's nectar to me.
So, coming into this week, I knew 3 of the 4 beer picks for the week, and hearing about Kent's beer, the Holiday Cheer, I thought, no question, I'm voting for the Holiday Cheer. However, that Lion Stout, like both Ryan and Kent said, it's Bourbon County, but for $4.
Yeah.
For a double bottle.
It's Bourbon County on a budget.
Exactly. It's budget county. And so concluding that, we're saying that the Lions.
$3 a bottle.
Oh my god.
Oh wow.
Oh.
So the
Wow.
Lion Stout this week is the beer of the week.
Beer of the week.
And I have a feeling that Lucas is both ecstatic and
He's
he's
literally
dancing
on his feet.
I mean, he's dancing,
right now.
but Lucas is both ecstatic and a bit upset because he didn't like his own beer.
That's right.
I did like my own
It's a
beer.
bittersweet moment.
Okay. Everyone, I really did like my beer, but like I said, I'm a pussy, and I couldn't handle it. It's right now I'm feeling a little bit.
Lucas has been
Under
up
the
since
weather.
7 a.m. this morning,
Yeah,
and he's got a
it's-
slight cold.
Join the club.
Yeah. Okay, everyone. Thank you, Nick.
Yeah,
Here you go.
Baby.
I think Kent wants to switch beers with you.
I would love to.
So,
Just drain that 22.
Hey,
now we are going to pit this
Just a
beer
little.
up against the beer of the week from last week. And to remind everybody, the beer of the week from last week was the Jawjacker, which is a pumpkin ale with spices added, cinnamon, allspice, and nutmeg from Arcadia Ales. And so I have one bottle of this left. And I think we're setting a new precedent where we keep one bottle of the beer of the week from the one before.
and with the Lion Stout, if the Lion Stout continues, we'll just buy a new bottle for next week.
Yeah, we'll get another bottle because we only have one.
Because
large
it's
bottle
a
of it.
large bottle, yeah.
Right.
And Kent just poured this beer for me, and it is completely opaque.
It's dark, like it's like a black hole. It
it's
absorbs
dark as night.
light.
It is chocolatey and delicious.
All right, so I'm gonna crack open the beer of the week from last week.
All right,
the
so the Jawjacker has been
Jawjacker.
cracked,
So I'm gonna taste this again.
and we're gonna give it a taste. If anyone needs to, the Lion Stout is in the middle of the table, and we'll
okay.
Be coming to
Will,
my side
Pass it
shortly.
around. Pass it over to Kent here.
Thank you, sir.
Yep.
Oh man, it's
So
still
we'll
as good.
taste-
It's still as good as I remember it. Like I drank this all week because I got a 6-pack of it, and I had
you
one.
had one here and there.
Yeah, one here and there, and oh man, every time I was just like, yeah.
Right.
Definitely taste the nutmeg in there.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
that's a really prominent flavor in the
Yeah,
Jawjacker.
it's got a wonderful autumn flavor to it if that's what you're into.
Once again, a good beer. It's
Yeah.
I remember it from last week. It was a really good beer. Yeah.
I agree. I think the best. This is by far the best pumpkin ale. Excuse me, the best pumpkin ale I've ever tasted. Because it doesn't taste like sugary pumpkin pie.
Yeah.
It tastes like pumpkin is a really bland flavor. And the reason pumpkin pie is so sweet is because they load it with sugar, they load it with allspice, they load it with nutmeg. This beer, the Jawjacker, is like, hey, pumpkin pie has more than just pumpkin in it. It has more than just sugar in it. And you definitely taste that. They give you that nutmeg, they give you that allspice, and you taste those. And that's why I think it's a great, like Kent said, a great autumn beer. And it's the best pumpkin beer because it's not just this heavy pumpkin spice flavor,
Right.
that artificial pumpkin spice flavor.
Right. Yeah.
This is a true what pumpkin tastes like. It's not this sugary pumpkin flavor. It's a bland pumpkin flavor, but complemented with nutmeg and allspice.
True.
I agree.
So, Ryan, back to you.
Yes.
Does the Jawjacker stay as the reigning champion for week 2, or does Lion Stout take it over?
Well, we're all voting, right?
Correct.
Yeah. Okay. Because this is the first time we've done this, folks. So I need to take another taste of the Lion Stout
Go ahead.
just to know. Just to know myself. Oh, and it's tough. Oh, it's really tough. This is a terrible decision.
And I should preface this as we're gonna say the Jawjacker, the Lion Stout stays on for a few weeks. We'll eventually retire it to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
will.
We won't just let something stay on forever. Boy, that's tough. I'm gonna drink the Jawjacker again real quick.
And I should also say I'm bringing a guaranteed winner next week.
Oh, you know one?
Yeah, guaranteed winner.
Man. I'm having a really hard time with this. I'm actually going to I'm going to vote, but I'm gonna pass it over to somebody else.
You're gonna
first.
abstain courteously.
I'm gonna pass it.
Okay, New York.
I'm gonna let somebody else vote first.
Kent, Mr. Guest Man.
I will take it away.
Yeah.
It's a clear-cut decision for me. First of all, I mean, the logo on this bottle, it's got like the MGM lion on the front. He just looks mean and fierce. And I like my beer to have some cojones.
That's true. This beer definitely has cojones of steel.
It's dark,
of
it's
pure
smooth,
titanium.
and I could drink this all night. It's hands down Lion Stout gets my vote for best beer of the week.
Lucas.
If I drank Lion Stout all night, I would want to kill myself because I would just feel like 30 pounds heavier.
Shave your beard. You don't deserve it.
But this is a really tough one for me because
in what way?
in the way that I am not a fan of the style that Lion Stout is. Like, it's just not my style of beer. Like I said, I can't handle it. But at the same time, it is a damn delicious beer. It is perfectly brewed for the audience it is going for. But I like the Jawjacker a little bit better. Like, I like pumpkin ales. I like a lot of that kind of more the beer that you'll see your mother drinking. It's just I don't know. I love the Lion Stout. I think it's a great beer, and I think that it is probably for anyone that likes stouts, it will beat the Jawjacker. But seeing as I'm not a stout fan, I'm gonna vote for the Jawjacker. That like I don't know how to say it any other way. Like, it's if you like stouts, the Lion Stout wins. But if you're like me and you don't like stouts and like stouts just like they don't fit well with you, you're gonna Jawjacker. Yeah.
So we're declaring your vote as the Jawjacker.
Yes. My
Okay.
vote is the Jawjacker.
So we have one vote Lion Stout, one vote Jawjacker. I absolutely love both of these beers. I think they're both unbelievable beers. However, I do have to decide what I'm gonna go with. And
Christmas.
the smell and taste of the Jawjacker is perfect for this fine October 27th day. But that Lion Stout is, and you can quote me on this, redonkulous. It's so good, and I could drink it all day, every day. So, vote one, Lion Stout. We're at 2-1, up
All
to
right.
Ryan. Will he tie it, or will he finish it for the Lion Stout?
No pressure. No pressure.
All right. I think I have my decision in mind.
Can we pull my vote out of this?
You are
Because
involved
I
in the
feel-
voting. You
okay,
can't.
all right.
You voted for the Jawjacker.
You already wrote it down on a piece of paper and put it in the box. You can't get it back.
And you have a NASCAR hat on.
So I feel like, man, do I love the Jawjacker. The Jawjacker is something I could drink casually. You know, like I could get a 6-pack of that and drink that all night. You know, like, just like whatever. Like, but I mean, like, it's not too heavy where I would just like get shit faced if I drank it all night. Basically, that's my thing. Like, I could get a 6-pack of that and be all right and be cool.
Yeah.
Obviously, I couldn't get a 6-pack of Lion Stout,
And because the bottles are big.
well, right, they come in 20. Well,
do they?
But
Okay.
but even if it was like if I got 3 of those, if I got 3 Lion Stouts, I think I'd be like, oh crap, what did I do? But despite that, from a beer connoisseur point of view, I think I have to put a lot of respect behind the Lion Stout for what it does, because at the end of the day, dark beers like that are very
They're niche.
they are niche, and they're it's hard to find a really good one, and especially for Lucas, like randomly just kind of finding this, I'm really shocked. Like, seriously, like, because it like stands up, it doesn't stand up to, but it's like a level below the Bourbon County Stout, which as I mentioned before, is maybe one of the best beers I've ever had, if not the best beer I've ever had. Mm-hmm. And so based on that, I think I have to vote for the Lion's Stout because it is just that good. Like, it's one of those beers where I could crack it and just sip it all night and just be like, oh, every sip just be like, oh man, this beer. So my vote goes for the Lion's Stout.
You know, I'm actually surprised you did vote for the Lion Stout.
Yeah.
I thought you were gonna make it a tie.
No, because a tie would be tough to figure out how we would break.
I mean, we're gonna hit that point eventually.
Well, I mean, eventually
we'll cross
once
that bridge.
we'll
cross that bridge.
Any night where there's like an even numbered amount of people on the podcast.
If we ever have another guest speaker, Ken, you bring another good beer, and
I would love to.
you're in the job. You got the job.
I'm here for at least another 2 weeks. So.
But no, So Lion Stout is the best beer of the week, and it beat the Jaw Jacker.
So congratulations, Lucas, for blindly choosing the Lion Stout. Do you have anything to say to your fans?
Yeah, motherfuckers.
That was totally appropriate.
All right.
So that concludes our podcast for this week. We're gonna give you another music break, and we're gonna close this bad boy out. Thank you again for listening to the TechBuzzed podcast. This is week 2. Special thank you goes out to Kent Schultz for bringing such a great beer this week and providing us with some good times during our beer of the week. He lost to you, and you didn't even like your own beer. But
I voted for him. He had a good beer.
We will leave you with our information to where you can find us. So I'm Nick Smock, and you can find me at Nick_Smock on Twitter.com.
My name is Ryan Spletzer, and you can find me at Ryan Spletzer on Twitter.
And I'm Lucas Ritter, and you can find me at Depresso is cool, and just don't follow me.
That was a little depressing, but where you can find TechBuzzed, you can find all of our podcast episodes at a site called Libsyn, and that's techbuzz.libsyn, libsyn.com.
Yep, and just to clarify, we thought we were using SoundCloud last week, but we realized due to like their crazy pricing structure, we are not going with SoundCloud. Right. So we're on Libsyn, and eventually Libsyn will be integrated into our site that we're going to build. So, yep, techbuzz.libsyn.com.
You can find us on Twitter at twitter.com/techbuzzed. Our Facebook page, which will be live by the time you're hearing this episode, is facebook.com/techbuzzed. YouTube, if you want to listen to our podcast while looking at our logo for a couple hours, which I don't really understand, but youtube.com/techbuzzedpodcast.
Hey guys,
make sure you put that podcast at the end.
We can always just put my face on the YouTube screen.
It's up to you.
Don't want to look at this?
Not for 2 hours.
Oh.
Send us emails at
Depresso is cool.
No. Send us emails at techbuzzedpodcast@gmail.com, and we have a website in the works. Ryan and I are I don't want to say working diligently, but we're working on it. Techbuzzed.com. It's currently just a blank Tumblr site, is it not?
It's just some generic Tumblr thing.
Yeah. So
we work at the moment once a week.
It's in the works.
By the way,
Google Plus Hangout.
our site is going to be hosted on Tumblr. Any haters of Tumblr out there?
You don't understand about hosting, about Tumblr's hosting,
because we're not going to do WordPress and all that stuff, because WordPress is a bloated
Tumblr is
software.
super easy to host on, especially for what we're doing,
and not to mention free.
Right,
so
exactly.
Boom.
So again, thank you to Kent Schultz. Do you have any closing remarks, Kent?
I would just like to say thank you for being such gracious hosts and having me up on your second episode. It's truly a pleasure to be here, and I wish you nothing but the best.
We hope you join us again.
Yep.
With pleasure.
Another beer of the week, maybe.
We also hope Lucas turns the mic back on, because that happened.
Yeah, because that was off. So how are we going to do that?
Oh, don't worry about it. It's just... It is what it is. We picked up Kent through the condenser mic.
But thank you again, Kent. And if you didn't hear, he appreciated being on us, and he appreciates us.
We didn't want to hear Kent
because I turned
it off for a reason.
He appreciates us because we're such great people,
Kent, you actually have a sexy voice.
You do. You have a great radio voice, by the way, and you have a face for radio. Did anyone ever tell you that? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I am Ken
so
Schultz,
that's
and I
it.
want to
We're
molest you.
That's it. We're running long, so we're gonna close out with our song for the week. Thank you for listening, and have a great week. Music for this week is the song Boys Don't Cry, covered by YouTube user MIDI Machine. That's MIDIMACHINE.
And
I've been
that right
been
there.
working on my George Takei impression.
Oh, I gotta hear this.
My.